You know,
Listen, I have no problem with murder.
I know you don't, man. You're always solo sleeping and sinking people.
That is the game.
Everybody, welcome in, guys. Party Boats and Thieves, a podcast experience brought to you and fueled by Madrinas Coffee. Madrinas brings you the absolute best tasting cold brew worldwide, making it available in both 16-ounce cans and our brand new 8-serving powder tub. I got one right here, and I think, yo, MUDCAT, you're doing a can, right?
I am doing a can.
Guys, if y'all want a powder, if y'all want a powder tub, this is what it looks like. If you want a mocha can, MUDCAT's got it. He's modeling it.
I got the tub too. It came in this morning. It's right here.
You got both. Yeah, that was the vanilla tub. I thought you were gonna hit up a vanilla today.
Yeah, you know the cans. I was interested in the cans, so I figured I'd drink the mocha.
Guys, the Madrinas cold brew powder just launched this summer and lets you ship our amazing cold brews anywhere around the world at a low shipping cost. So guys, if you are ready to fuel up with your favorite Madrinas cold brew, or if you've never had Madrinas and you want to join the Higgity Hype, head on over to madrinascoffee.com and check out all of our cold brew options, and be sure to use code MUDCAT at checkout to get 20% off your entire order. And guys, if you do use code MUDCAT, you will get a fancy alert that pops up on MUDCAT's stream. So if y'all are hearing this, yeah, if y'all are hearing this and you're like, man, I want to spin out a Madrinas can on his stream and strike the fear of God in him, because I know that crack sound, that crack of the can is going to scare him. You guys, make sure at checkout you put your Twitch name in the field when it's presented. So madrinascoffee.com, discount code MUDCAT, put your Twitch name in, and we are all good.
Is it time to crack this thing?
Let's do this, man. Let's crack it. I just shook up my powder. I do a powder like every day. I've been doing very few cans just because the powder's, it's brand new. It's the hotness, but it's still cold brew, so it's the coldness. You ready?
The pop was yeah, I'm ready.
You ready to cheers it? All right, guys, let's cheers it. Let's get it. Attacking this day and this weekend with a positive heart, mind, and spirit, y'all. Cheers to everyone that's listening. One love, everybody. Big, huge, miggity, massive. Yeah. All right. So you're normally always just doing slaying out stuff, right? You're always looking for the PvP engagements.
Yeah, pretty much, man. You know, every once in a while I mix it up with some PvE, like as needed, or you know, just when I get a little bit burnt out on just, you know, chasing runners around the map. But you know, I like the whole game. I like everything, but the PvP is the best.
Is that what got you into playing?
I actually got into playing, man, from day one. Like, I don't know if I knew what to expect in terms of, like, you know, the game. So, I don't know. I started out just kind of like wanting a pirate game. And when I saw the game announced at E3, or maybe a little bit before that, I think I'd heard some rumblings of it before that. I was like sold, dude. I was all in. I was like, this is going to be the game I play on stream forever. I was like, this will be it.
Well,
I'll never play another game.
Well, you've been streaming for a minute. 2014 is when you got started, right?
Yeah, probably early 2014. It's hard to remember because it was around the time I started on the Xbox One. You know, we're streaming from the Xbox, like straight from the app. Yep. They used to be able to do all that. And then I just went from there, man. I started streaming on this crappy laptop.
What was your first game?
My first game, like streaming?
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
Was it like you were just playing whatever?
Yeah, kind of whatever. But I also let's see. I remember playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag really early in stream, because that's actually a reason I had a pirate themed stream, and my alerts are still Black Flag themed. So I played that. I remember playing a little bit of Titanfall at that time.
Dude,
but
so many people were into Titanfall, man.
Oh, dude, it was such a good game, man. It was so fun.
I feel like Titanfall was like low-key one of the most like influential like FPS games on the Xbox. So many people that like have gotten into content started out playing Titanfall that I've talked to. Yeah. You know, just anecdotally, I've heard it a lot. And I guess Apex is like the same engine, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Did you ever get
it? It's like the same world and everything.
Did you get into Apex at all?
Yeah, dude, I played a lot of Apex. Really liked it.
Let me wind it back though, because so I started out with, you know, with you when you started streaming. You and I are both from Missouri. Like you're from here originally?
Yeah. I grew up in the Kansas City area.
Are you a Chiefs fan?
I am a Chiefs fan, dude.
Do you watch every game?
No, actually, so sports have kind of taken a back seat to my life as a streamer. Over the last couple of years, like I really haven't watched much of sports at all. I'm a huge Royals fan as well. Went to the series in 2014. The one they didn't win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did they beat that year? Was it the Mets?
Yeah.
They beat
And
the
then
Mets?
they lost to the Giants that year in 2014. And but I was, went to game one. They had swept the postseason, had just on a crazy winning streak through the postseason, just sweeping every single game. And then they get to game one of the World Series, and I pay a bunch of money to go, and then boom, they lose 7-1.
Well, dude, you got to find some time to make Red Zone happen now, because y'all's Chiefs are on another level.
Oh yeah, dude, I know, right?
Like watch him, like Pat Mahomes is just like on this trajectory to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time, if not like the best. Like he's just on another level the way he plays, and he's like 3 years in already. He's got a Super Bowl MVP, all the stuff.
Yeah, he's so good. And like I don't know, man, it's just kind of like, I used to watch every Sunday. I used to like host Chiefs watch parties at the house. Used to like make chili and commission a fantasy football league. That Sloop's behind us, by the way.
Oh, let's go get him
at the
outpost. They just like,
yeah.
It's Emissary. That's the Order of Souls one. Let's go get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably have some stuff turned in, but whatever.
Yeah, they kind of watching sports kind of just took a back seat, because like even though like I may not stream during that time, it's like between my day job and streaming, like I'm just always tired, or I got to get stuff done around the house because like I don't have time during the week or whatever, you know what I mean? So kind of just like over the last couple of years, I've just not been a priority to like sit down and enjoy that.
So yeah,
hopefully this season.
Well, was it a family thing? Like, when growing up, was your family really close?
I mean, yeah, yes and no. I think it's been family's weird. Parents are divorced. Everybody gets along though. Have great step parents, siblings, but I wouldn't say we're like particularly close. Like some families like do a bunch of crazy stuff together all the time, and
yeah,
maybe that's just me. I think it's just me. Like I'm just kind of the person that's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go do my own thing.
You're the oddball out. You're the one that like they're all hanging out, and you're just like, no, I'm just gonna stream. I'm gonna work.
Like I'm not the. I don't know how. Someone just bought some Madrinas.
Yo, discount code MUDCAT getting a workout, guys. Thank you for loading up on Madrinas, guys. Like I said, if you are gonna check out at madrinascoffee.com, make sure you use discount code MUDCAT. Put your Twitch name in, and you'll hear the can crack, and the mocha will spin out onto MUDCAT stream. Thank you, whoever that was. I didn't see the name.
It was an anonymous.
I was anonymous.
Yeah.
Anonymous, always just sneaking in without anyone noticing. So you're I mean, like, listen, I know your schedule, right? I mean, you're a late night streamer, so you're doing like 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Like it doesn't like, and you're doing like your normal job because you're a history teacher. So it's like
yeah.
So it's like it doesn't like, I don't know when you would have time for, I mean, let alone like family, let alone any sort of social life, any sort of like time where you're not just grinding.
Dude, it's definitely been it's been a crazy couple of years, dude. I've had a lot of I don't know. I guess I would characterize it as like sacrifice over the last couple of years, and on some ways it's like I'm proud of that. I'm like, yeah, because I've sacrificed to get where I'm at, and to do the things I'm doing. But on the other level, you're like, oh man, I've sacrificed a lot. What do I really have to show for it?
Right.
What I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like how far have I really gotten in the space? Oh, I just got knocked off.
Let's double board.
I missed their ladder. Missed it.
They're masked down. You should be able to hit it.
Yo. Perfect. Hit him with some fire here.
Yeah, they're not gonna get this thing up. They just raised Reapers. This was the Order of Souls. They just raised Reapers.
Nice. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna go to the other side. Climbing.
Going up.
Oh, I just got one blundied. Oh.
All right, they're done. You can come back to this ship whenever you're back. Okay, so it's like you're grinding 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. I don't know how you have
Yeah.
time for anything, including
So-
another job, because you don't sleep. You only sleep literally 3 hours a night.
Yeah, somewhere around that. You know, I work like 8 to 4:30, 5, something
Right.
like that. You know, and then I stream. I used to stream 9 to. Oh, well, I've done a bunch of things. I've done 4 to 8, take 4 hours off, then stream midnight to 4. I've done let's stream 4 to 4. I've done let's do 9 to 5 a.m. and now I'm kind of in the 11 to 5 a.m. I've cut down my hours a little bit, which has given me a little bit more of a life. But you know, for a long time, you know, especially coming up on Mixer, just like late night was a spot you could really grow.
Right.
And,
Oh yeah.
catching people, like people's communities and stuff, hosts and things like that when they get offline, was like a huge thing. You know, kind of cut through the noise. And so it's just been kind of like a necessity to stream late night. Obviously, like, you know, gotta spend time with my wife sometime and gotta get things done around my house. So like would love to pop on in the morning, you know, and then take advantage of that stuff, or even in the evening. But you know, nighttime's just what works for me, you know.
So I mean, you're growing up in KC, and like, like, you know, I can just speak, you know, just from my personal experience, like, you know, it's slower speed here in Missouri. It's not like it's too crazy, you know. It's not like it's, you know, people are, I don't know, it's not like it's, you know, any of the coast. Like people are kind of chill, a little bit more family focused, I would say. But I don't even necessarily think it's family. It's just like people are a little more chill, you know. Life moves a little at a steadier pace. So I mean, like when you're growing up and you're a Chiefs fan, right, and like you're hanging out with your family, is there ever a moment where like you knew that you were going to get into content and you were like, I need a new, like, I like this is my world that I'm going for? Or when like because you were on the education path for a while, which would have lent for you, because you just moved to Orlando, that would have lent more for you staying in Kansas City longer term, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of a long question, you know, like a long answer.
Yeah.
It's you know, like I don't think growing up that I ever was like, oh yeah, I want to be like into content creation or stuff like that. You know, I was super into music, you know what I mean? I played in bands, played in like, I was super into metal. I'm a huge metal fan. Like,
did you have a garage band?
Yeah, I had a couple. Death metal and like math metal and gent and stuff like that, if you're familiar with the genres. But
Math metal?
Math metal, yeah, it's like progressive metal based on like polyrhythms of like 5 and 7 and 9 and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah,
Like you have to do math while you play music?
I mean, you don't have to, but like you can. Yeah, counting beats becomes complex because they're odd time signatures and things like that.
Yo, you people that are into music, I'm just kind of like, I hear about all these genres and I'm like, you know, I look at my radio station, there's like, or my radio dial, there's like Sirius XM, there's country, there's like pop.
Yeah.
You're coming out with math metal? I'm like, I've never heard of it.
Hey, listen, I was an acquired, I had to learn it through like, you know, the scene at the time, you know, in Kansas City and the surrounding areas, because like, you know, you were there from there, you know, 93.3 is not playing math metal.
No. You
know the stations. But you know, I grew up and like I was super into music and like really excelled in music, and I even went to school for music originally in college before I switched into education. So like, you know, music was actually the path professionally. Was the original goal when I went to school, but then I kind of just got burnt out on it.
Did you went to school and you majored in music?
Yeah, I actually, this is a whole funny, this could be a whole podcast in itself, but I originally went to school to become a music minister.
Music minister?
Yeah.
Like really religious?
I was very religious. I'm not anymore.
Is your family very religious?
They're you know, they're religious. Yeah.
How, is that, did they introduce?
They're not like crazy people, you know, like crazy, like, you know, but they have beliefs, you know what I mean?
Did they introduce it to you and then you like leaned heavy into it?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it goes, right? Especially in the Midwest. You're from the area, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No. Like there's a like
growing up in
like,
Midwest.
Yeah, in the Midwest, and you know, people will say
Just
Bible
what you
Belt.
do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. People will say Bible Belt. I don't really know what it means, like as far as geographic territory, but I do know that here, like youth group, like for when you are growing up, like youth groups and that kind of like religious influence is really, really heavy for a lot of like, you know, younger kids. Like as you start getting into early high school and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of kids that start forming social groups around that.
Oh yeah, dude, and that was totally it. Like, you get involved, and that's like your social life, man. Especially like, I grew up in a small town kind of east of the city, like not a lot to do, you know what I mean? You were either probably like doing drugs or going to church,
Well,
like,
and the thing is like a lot of
between.
yeah, a lot of times it's like, yeah, I know you never want your kids doing drugs, but sometimes, man, like the kids start going to some churches and you don't know what people are talking about there, like you don't know how it like morphs the mind. Was that like when you look back on your time, like being, so because you obviously didn't follow music ministry, but
Yeah.
like, is it, when you look back on it, is it like super positive, or do you have like some sort of like resentment towards whatever kind of church that you were wrapping yourself up in?
Yes. just
To pretty much all of it.
Yeah. So like, listen, I know a lot of great people who are very spiritual and religious, of different denominations, different faiths. I know a lot of people, like, they're just great people, right? And,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some of the best people I know, the most happy and energetic, and the most exciting people to be around, that people like, those people that are just kind of infectious. I know some more Madrinas bought. There you go.
Yeah, discount code MUDCAT.
But I know some of those people are the best people I know, and some of those people are the worst people I know. You know what I mean? So I'm middle of the road. It's just I got to a point in my life where, especially studying history, where it just didn't make sense for me. You know what I mean? It was more of like, for me, it didn't make sense. I do know that growing up and that there are religious people, and then there are people of faith. You know what I mean?
Right.
There are two different types of people.
There's some, and listen, I have a huge, like, I grew up, in a going to church, going to Sunday school, and all of that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it just comes down to the people that you're around. Like some church groups that are formed, in certain communities, they are filled with great people, and sometimes there's other ones that are filled with people that are, not necessarily as well intended as others. So it's like, it's just a gamble. At the end of the day, it comes down to the heart of hearts for the people that are involved. So, there's no blanket right or wrong. It's just, you got to hope that you're around, the good people for it. But you got turned away from the music ministry at some point.
Yeah. So it was more about the music than anything. Because actually it wasn't even like a religious thing at all. It was more of like, I was playing music all the time, right? And when you're in a music major in college, you have no life. You live, breathe, eat, and sleep music. The people that are in that major with you, like, those are the people you spend time with. And to be honest with you, I just didn't gel with those people. Like, I wanted to do other things. I didn't gel with those people. Like, I got burnt out on being told what to play and when to play it. And you know what I mean? Like, just the whole lifestyle of like that setting just wasn't for me. I liked music because I liked it, and it was becoming a thing that I, no longer enjoyed. Just because I was like, just the setting really burnt me out on it. So I was like, let's figure out something else. So I, always been kind of a history buff. So I was like, let's just do history and teaching, and you got to do something. And it kind of was just kind of a, I like history. I like education and stuff. Let's just do it. So we did that, and then it was through like history and like through my degree, and actually like through into like taking courses for my master's and stuff, that I really was like kind of conflicted about my personal beliefs. You know what I mean? Just because for me, I'm a very logical person, and things historically just didn't line up. You know what I mean?
So when you say didn't line up, what specifically didn't make it?
So one idea, not that I wanted to turn your podcast all
hey man, I just want to talk to you. I just want to hear. You know what I mean? Sure. Let's hear it.
For me. So I was reading a book, and I can't remember. I think it was about witchcraft, because I was in a course that was about witchcraft in my master's degree. And I was reading a book that really just kind of sparked the whole train of thought, and it was about the idea that in churches and stuff, there's a lot of different religions, different denominations have this idea of like angels and devils, you know what I mean, or like demons. like in that there's this constant ongoing battle or fight that's between good and evil happening all around you, and that that philosophy, that idea, those ideals didn't really make it into literature, like biblical literature, until quite a long time after the New Testament and like the whole the resurrection of Christ. It was in a response, if you look like historically in books, it was in response to the fact that people were still waiting for the return of a Messiah, you know what I mean? And so in the meantime, the narrative shifted to, okay, well, we're just, in the meantime, we're fighting this ongoing battle. You know what I mean? We're having to be vigilant. And that idea kind of just sparked a train of thinking, like, that just doesn't line up for me. You know what I mean?
Like meaning you didn't believe in like an absolute evil and an absolute good.
Not necessarily, just more of like, how is this idea of angels, demons fighting not even existing until an X amount of time after, it was to me, it just seemed more like a coping mechanism for people than it seemed like a truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
that makes sense.
Oh no, I get it. It's like the sociological impact that religion has on communities. It's it's kind of like that layer of accountability that it provides. It's kind of like in the game theory sense that if your neighbor believes in this greater good and this fight for a greater good, and you do as well, then you can bet that your neighbor's going to treat you well and treat the other neighbors well. Versus like if there is none of that. Not necessarily in today's time, but before, it's like if there is no religion, if there is no sort of more altruistic sense of being, then who knows what anyone really wants,
Yeah, man. It just seems strange to me that, like, historically, in the absence of like the return of of some sort of Messiah, that people just kind of shifted their narrative to kind of fit like, oh well, while we're waiting, let's this is the philosophy, and it just seemed like to me religious beliefs, teachings are subjective to the time period in which they are created. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so that was kind of it for me. And I just was like, yeah, I can't follow that logic. You know what I mean?
Right. So you had to shift away from not only music but the ministry side, and then you started. So like when did that, like when would you say you switched? Because dude, music ministry is like, that's like super specific. You know what I mean? Like, did you go to a specific school for it? Was there a college that you had in mind that you were like, hey, this is like what they're known for?
College.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a Baptist college in southern Missouri, Southwest Baptist University.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know that one.
Yeah, Southwest.
Yeah, I went there and I finished there too. It wasn't really. I would say probably around that time, I started having a little bit more like, yeah, I don't know if this is all for me, like everything, but I wasn't full on like, against it either.
And you finished there.
It wasn't so much later. It wasn't until like years later that I was like, yeah, you know what? And I think part of that was just growing up too, like becoming older, and just like, I think people are kind of scared to question their own beliefs, right? Because like, what if you're wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think I just got to the point where I was like, like, hey, this is just what I believe. Like I can't pretend I believe anything else. You know what I mean?
So you move off,
to check a box or whatever.
Yeah. So you move off of it, but you're still in this religious environment. And like, is there a hard shift in you? Like, do you feel like a hard shift in you away from organized religion, and you're like all of a sudden now, like, you have a different path in mind, or is it just happen gradually?
I think it just happens gradually. It's getting older and just being more honest about the things that I was thinking at the time and believing, and like. I don't really have anything against people who, are religious, attend church. Like much of my family's still religious and stuff, and they're great people. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any issue with it. It's just not for me at this point in my life.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where it took me. You know what I mean? So
well, like, I mean, so you still obviously you were into music. You're into the whole like. The creative side of life, expressing yourself, making something. So it's no wonder you got to be a content creator. But
right.
But so you graduate college in what, like 2012, 2011?
2010.
2010? And then there's like a 4-year gap between when you graduate and when you start streaming. So for those 4 years, you're in Kansas City, and you start teaching.
No, actually, for those 4 years, I moved to the Springfield area.
Oh, you were down in Springfield.
Yeah. When I left home at 18 from Kansas City, I never moved back. So I left college and got a job teaching immediately out of college, like days after I graduated in December. Are we gonna sink these guys, or you want to like hop on their boat?
What do you want to do?
Let's hop on their boat. Let's be sneaky. They don't seem to notice we're here. Did they finish the event? They did.
Oh, there's an Ashen Wind face to yoink.
Okay, let's just.
I'm going over. I'm going to the boat.
Yeah, you go.
I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna do a little deck height. I'm gonna make sure that they pull it on, and then I'm gonna pull it off so that way we got it.
Yeah. I'll just wait to fire cannons until they're on board.
And they're anchored down too, so this is good.
Oh, perfect.
So okay, so you moved down to Springfield because you got a job down there. Is that what I heard?
Yeah. So I got a job teaching, not in Springfield. It was actually an hour away, but it was a teaching job. Actually, a guy died in December of cancer, and so like they needed a teacher to fill that position.
Oh, man.
So I got the job. Like I graduated, and like 8 days later, I was teaching high school. You know what I mean? And I stayed there for 4 or 5 years until I decided to teach online high school, and so I started teaching from home and online in 2015.
And you were doing public school?
I was doing public school. Now it's an online private.
What is teaching in public school like?
Shitty. It's really kind of a nightmare. Honestly, I hated it. It's there are great things about it, but there are so many bad things about it. Like getting in and like teaching kids who are like excited about learning stuff for the first time and like teaching really cool concepts, and like just high schoolers can be pretty funny at times. Like it was just that's fun. Hanging out in class is fun, but it's all the baggage that comes with it. Like parents and school boards and administration and like the state telling you, hey, you can't teach what you want. You got to teach this because we have to test on it, even though the tests are completely arbitrary. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like a whole lot of red tape and hoops to jump through. When it really like should have been about other things like education. So it grated at me, and like listen, like having the summers off is great. I will tell you, like having the summers off is amazing. They're coming in with a rowboat, dude.
I'm gonna try to pull him off.
I'm gonna start hitting. Having the summers off is great, but when you are ready to like, oh, they're trying to row out, dude. They're trying to row out.
They won't get it.
Oh, I know they won't get it. I just tagged him with a cannonball.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Left ladder right now.
Ooh, missed my shot.
All
right.
I don't know, man. It's just not a public school is not a. There are a lot of great teachers and a lot of people like trying to do the right thing, but the system just doesn't work. You know what I mean? It just it's inherently broken in my opinion, and I was getting frustrated, and by the time May rolls around, like you're just like you're ready to just quit your job and like be done, like you know what I mean?
What was so this happened after I was way done with high school, and I don't have any kids, so I know very little about this. There was like a whole thing, and I know it got kind of political about like Common Core. That's was that kind of like a big hot topic whenever you were teaching public?
Yeah, dude. Common Core was a big thing. Was coming about and being a big thing, but there were also other philosophies and stuff being implemented. There are some philosophies that kind of never go away, like standards-based grading. There's always somebody like saying you should grade on standards rather than by letter grades and stuff like that. So the problem is not necessarily the individual philosophies. It's like the school district you work for. Like I had 5 years I worked there, right? And I rewrote my curriculum from the ground up, which is a lot of work, 5 years in a row, because 5 times they decided to do things a different way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Partly because they had to, because if they didn't adhere to X standards, then they wouldn't get the federal funding. And I taught in actually a pretty small, poor school that needed the funding, so You know, so it's very bureaucratic. Do you have the action scope?
That's what I'm looking for. I can't
I
find
don't
it.
think it's here. I don't think it's here.
No, let's go around. What is that? Oh, that was
That's
a
a
storage crate I
crate.
pulled off.
I think it's still on the dock.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's pull around the island, see if we can find it.
Yeah.
Where does this thing end up? Okay, so they're changing the curriculums all the time. Is that's obviously a source of frustration? I just remember it getting, like really contentious and it being like a super political thing, like the
Yeah, I mean, it
the
was.
curriculum that was happening at public schools.
Yeah, I don't know that like teachers really get involved in the politics too much.
But I mean, you hear it going on. It's
Right,
it's
there's not
happening
a lot
around
of
you.
time.
And like, do you
It's
ever
just-
get do you ever get parents that are just kind of like, you know, curriculum or not, or like do you ever get parents that are just like, you know, like we need to be not, or sorry, I mean like Common Core or not. We need to be teaching them this, but you're teaching them like this, and like they want to come in and like dictate how like your job.
It's almost every parent, dude. It's almost every parent. We should go search on the beach for this,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
skull.
I'm gonna just mosey around.
I'll,
So you,
that's like every parent, dude. Like, especially, you know, you have parent teacher conferences and stuff like that. And oh, what's all this loot? Oh, there's a lot of kegs over there.
Oh, there is, yeah. Yo, so parent, like, and I get it. Like, I know how parents like want to be like super involved with their kids' lives and they want to make sure that, you know, everything's all good at school. You know, I just parent teacher conferences. I feel like when I was growing up, my parents would just be like, "How's he doing? Is he doing good?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And they'd be like, "All right, that's chilling." And they'd be like,
Yeah.
"How's he doing? Is he doing good?" And they'd be like, "No." And like, okay. And then I get disciplined, and they go home and they just say, "All right, don't be an idiot. Do better." And I'm like, "All right, I'll do better."
Right. And you know, for a lot of kids, that's how it is. You know, mostly like you know, but you always have the you got those parents for sure, and a lot of parents are this way that they come in and they question everything you do, man. If you give them a 98 or something, they question why. You know, if you give them a 70, they question why. Like, they doesn't matter what grade you give them, they're not going to be happy, because they're going to find a reason to, you know, instead of blaming their child for, you know, not applying themselves, or blaming themselves for not being a good, you know, parent in no uncertain terms. They just default to blaming a teacher for every little thing. You know what I mean?
So so now that so you make the switch, you do public school for like 4 years, and then you make the switch to teaching online.
Yeah.
And so are you doing an online high school program? How does it work?
Yeah. So I teach like a private school, but basically parents will pay for their kids, or sometimes I even have students that are like in high school, and like schools will use our services like as like dual credit or extra, you know, credit recovery, or just, you know, if it's a small school, like they don't have the teachers, they might use our stuff, but it's very like go at your own pace. You know, you got X amount of time to finish the course, you know, and like it's more of like a self-guided thing. Teachers are there kind of as a more of a, you know, like a support. You know, so I field a lot of phone calls, messages, like, you know, I've compared to like teaching the traditional school, I've got hundreds of students now. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I feel like your setup now is like way more attractive than a public school job. You know what I mean? Like
100% it is.
how do you get lucky? How did you get so lucky and land this thing?
So I found a crate here just sitting around, and I think they might have hit some of this stuff just around.
I'm looking for the face now.
Honestly, dude, I applied and I applied and I applied. Like, so around the last year, like I was teaching, like I knew like whether they were gonna hire. I had signed a contract to go back for the next year to teach, but I kind of knew, you know, deep down inside that if I didn't get a job doing something else, that I just wasn't gonna go back. You know what I mean?
Right.
I kind of just was
You
like
were
at
off
the
the
end,
public experience.
I was just at the end of my rope on that. I was like, no matter what, I'm out. And so, you know, I applied, man. I just applied. I applied to maybe, I don't know, maybe 100. There's, you know, online school wasn't as big as it is now, obviously. But it was still kind of a thing. There were public high schools, there were public private, online private schools. You know, like Missouri has a public education, it's called K-12. It's run out of Mizzou. And so they have these programs
It's
already
like a public. It's like an online public.
Yeah, it's an online public
It's
school.
called K-12.
K-12, yeah. And a lot of states do, right? And yeah, it's run out of. They use a lot of like students and stuff to work on things. from Mizzou.
So I mean, COVID didn't impact you at all from a daily perspective.
It secured my job more.
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, we've been hiring part-time people. You know what I mean? Like, just to handle some of the extra load.
So
Dude, this skull's nowhere.
It's nowhere. I don't know what they did with it. I mean, I can't find it there. I mean, we have a couple normal skulls back here, but
it's a big rip. Oh well.
Yeah. So you make the switch from public to online teaching, and you just jump for joy.
Yeah, man, it was very exciting for me because like,
you're like, you
honestly,
get to keep
like,
teaching, and you get to do it in a way that is way better. You said you're at the end of your rope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm pretty tech savvy, right? So, the fact that it took me 4 years to like for the thought of teaching online to occur to me when it was something I knew existed, but it wasn't like something I was like, oh yeah, that's people do that, you know what I mean? But so the fact that it took me so long to like kind of put two and two together and be like, hey, I could just do this online, was wild. After I thought about it later, I was like, why didn't I think of that 5 years ago? Yeah, so it was a very different experience, a lot more flexibility. You know, it's kind of a situation where, you know, I've got some set hours, but then the rest of them are, you know, I've got like ebb and flow to work. Like if I'm super busy, I'm there 8-9 hours straight, just like reading essays and papers and grading and making phone calls and, you know, taking phone calls and, you know, and then there are some other times where like it slows down and I might have a day where it's like, you know, I'm caught up, there's nothing, you know, so it's super nice. I get to be a little bit more, even though I have more students, it's a little bit more one-on-one, you know, as you're helping students learn and things like that. And so, definitely hands down a lot better.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, you know, you're not dealing with a commute to work every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just from a lifestyle perspective, it's probably way more comfortable. You just moved though, right? Like you just moved to Orlando?
Yeah, I just moved to Florida. My wife took a job down here. So we decided to move. Kind of was one of those.
What is like? Does she do teaching also?
She does teach now again. So the reason I took a job where I did is because she was teaching at the. Let's go.
Okay.
Order the damned.
I'm gonna drop this off the back. Actually, where are we?
There's the brig.
There's the brig. Yeah, they want their stuff back. This is the best. What's up, FOTD? Yeah.
Beautiful. This could not be better.
This couldn't be better, man. So I mean, first off, hold on. Before you tell me what she does and everything, how long have you guys known each other?
We met. I was 19, so like my freshman year of college.
You guys met at Southwest Baptist?
Yeah, we met started dating 2009, early 2009. Been married 8 years. Just over 8 years.
And you met in college. Was she also in the music ministry?
No. She's a communication, like forensic speech nerd. How did you not take down that first mast, dude?
Hit reg.
That's gotta be it, right?
It's just the way. Yeah. Now it's done.
Yeah, there it is. They're still firing high. They're on the wave.
Yeah, blunder bombs incoming.
That one's coming in.
Dude, right, blunder bombs are so OP over here. In this situation, man, blunder bombs just wipe the squad.
Dude, it's so nice.
Blunder bombs are just like, I don't think people use them enough in cannons. I don't think they realize how dope they are. Yeah,
they're pretty powerful. I'm trying to get us a hard turn here.
So you guys meet and you know, I feel like we're gonna sink these guys. I'm gonna keep asking questions.
It's gonna happen.
Where is this? Okay, so you meet at college, and you said she was in like some sort of communication program.
Yeah, I got knocked off. Yeah, she did forensics and speech and debate and stuff, and like she was like the what do you call it? The student government president, and like you know, like all that stuff. Yeah. So we met then, and then just started dating, and just kept dating and then got married, you know.
How did you so I've heard some pretty awesome first date stories doing this.
That's a funny story.
Yeah. I've heard some pretty awesome ones and some pretty embarrassing ones. I don't know if you ever heard like Crow has a good one, Crow Tuck has a good one. I don't know if you ever heard Burger talk about his. So was your guys pretty were you pretty cool and collected, or was it
So first date, that's a funny, you know, to hear her tell it, to hear me tell it, probably two different things. But, you know, so we basically I was interested in her, right?
Yeah, she's like the student president. She's like beyond popular.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, I want to ask this girl out.
So yeah, and we hit it off, and I, you know, she was interested in me, but she had just like, I think, broken up with somebody and like wasn't really into like, you know, having a relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like I you know, but I was kind of persistent, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, let's hang out, let's go on a date, let's, you know, whatever. And she kept telling me no, you know. She kept telling me no, dude, for months. Like for months. We were hanging out, having a good time, and you know, still wouldn't go on a date. Wouldn't
No
you know,
gift.
aside from like
Do you,
I
you
asked
mean
her like,
you guys were like hanging out in big groups?
no, like we were hanging out together. It
Oh.
was just so weird. You know,
That's
I was
like
hey,
already
let's
dating.
actually, I know. I was like, hey, let's go out and like do an official date. You know what I mean? Like, and no, she wouldn't do it. You know, cause but you know, she stood me up like a couple of times too. We went to like at our school, we had like chapel you had to go to, right? And I'd be like,
Yeah,
okay. She's like, yeah, save me a seat, and then she wouldn't show up. You know, stuff like that.
Yo, but man, you pushed through.
Yeah. So, but you know, she was, you know, from my perspective, still interested in like hanging out and stuff. So we did, and it was just really funny how it all kind of went down and worked out, because like, you know, over time, like, you know, she was eventually like, she was like, okay, yeah, let's, you know, we can go on a date or whatever. And I was like, fine, okay, let's do it. And so we went to I think we got hot dogs. There was this like hot dog place in Springfield that like did like specialty hot dogs, and it was dope. It was fun. We just had a good time. We went to the art walk down there. I don't know if you ever.
Yeah, dude, Springfield's cool.
Yeah, we went to the art walk. So we just, you know, went downtown, had some hot dogs, like checked out some art, and just hung out. And we'd already been really hanging out a lot, so like it wasn't like a big thing necessarily, but I guess technically like the first time she would like really hang out with me was because we won my dorm, we won in dodgeball, and I said, you know, if I win in dodgeball, you have to like hang out with me.
You have to.
and she's like fine. And so then you know, so I actually went and got, she wanted to hang out, so I went to her apartment and I brought like McFlurries from McDonald's, but she was still like trying to like, I won't say play hard to get, but she was having none of it, you know what I mean?
Well,
when she made me eat both McFlurries. I had to eat both McFlurries.
When you do a McFlurry, are you doing Oreo or are you doing M&M?
Oreo, dude.
Good. That's the good answer. I get M&M because it looks cool, but man, Oreo's the money. Like that there's some real soul in that Oreo M&M McFlurry, or Oreo McFlurry, not the M&M one.
Yeah. You know, so it's kind of just, it was such a weird situation. Like we were dating but not dating, and like hanging out but not hanging out. Like, you know, just like
y'all were dating. Like what
I
you
agree.
just described to me, that sounds like you guys were dating for a while, and then but you just weren't calling it that because you're 19.
Right. And
Yeah.
you know, so like it was an interesting situation, but you know, the way she tells my family the story is that I was stalking her, you know what I mean? She likes to lean heavily into the fact that like, you know, that I was persistent. So she likes to make it seem like I was like you know, stalking her, and then she likes to laugh about it when my family thinks I was, you know, creepy. So like, that's not how it happened. And she's like, well, yeah, but that's what I'm gonna tell him.
And so you said she was like into like communications, that kind of, but she was like really involved. So what did she do? Like did you guys both like get involved in teaching right away, or has she been doing other things?
So she started a master's program. She graduated the semester before me, started a master's program, and then actually a job opened up at the college we went to. So while she was finishing her master's, she got hired to teach at the college. My last semester at my college, she was a teacher there.
Oh, really?
And the president of the university, I'd like get invited to the faculty dinners with her, and they used to like to joke that I was the only student dating a teacher.
Yo, you should have been like, can I get that class? Like you could be in that class and give you great grades.
I'd already had it though. You know, we were engaged by that point. So it was pretty funny, like the way that went down. But
man, you guys got engaged young.
Yeah, dude, I was 22. I don't know. We dated for 3 years, and then we got engaged. And
3 years, but still, 22 is young, man.
We got married. I was just between.
Did 22 feel young? Like when you got, because you got engaged, you started dating, you're 19, 22. You know, that's about 3 years. That feel young, or was it just like, hey, this is my person, so I'm good, I'm chilling?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it ever like felt like, oh man, it's way too young. I don't know if I ever really considered that. You know, it's just like, we had a good time together and we liked
Yeah.
each other, and we've been dating for 3 years, and we'd already like talked about it, like we just kind of were both on board with
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
that. And looking back now, like I won't say that like it was too young or I regret it or anything like that, but we've definitely the person I was at 22 and the person I am at almost 31,
It's wildly different.
very different person, and the person that she is almost a very we're almost completely different people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so like what I'll say is like it's definitely it's been difficult at times to accommodate for that. You know what I mean? When you have this idea of somebody that you've been with forever, and you're still kind of growing as people.
And you get the trick is, I mean, it sounds like y'all figured it out, but the trick is you got to let each other grow. You got to let it happen. Because sometimes I feel like when people get together real young and they stay together, I feel like it's like they start constricting one another. But I mean, if it was like it's cool that y'all have been able to figure it out, grow together. Because like, man, 22 is young anymore. Like I know people like at least our parents' age, like or maybe even older, they used to get married. People used to very commonly get married at 18, 19, that type of but now it's like
Right.
now I think it's like the average age is like 27 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
It's way
100%.
more.
It's yeah, dude. It's definitely like you just gotta communicate. And I'm not saying that we've done a perfect job of that over the years, but I think that at some point I became super interested in content creation, and I've become super interested in a lot of things. I'm a very I'm the kind of person like when I get a hobby, like I'm
Lean
all
way
in.
in. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm all in. Like there goes I'm buying equipment and I'm doing it, like, and that's it. I'm into it. And
Yo, I figured we would just unload the Reaper's chest here.
yeah,
And then we can keep the rest of it on board because I remembered I want to take a big I want to
let's stack it.
stack it, and then we can take that photo at the end.
Perfect. We want to get some cannonballs and stuff for that.
Oh yeah.
for
Let's
the
loot up. Let's loot up. I don't know. Can we see the ship from here?
I don't know that we can. Maybe depending on where they're
I
at.
think I could see it. I think that's a sloop. I think. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm like seeing something kind of small. Maybe.
I don't think it's gonna matter.
No, it won't. No, it's just, dude. It's just galleys, dude. Yoinking from galleys is just the best. That's the playground that I always look for. Is that top deck and just run around. Sloop is smart. Like sloop is your specialty. But I was telling you this the other day, man. Like you fall off sloops all the time. Like it is so easy to fall off, and especially if you're fighting like swords. Swords are great on sloops just because there's not enough space to get away. So it's like galleys, man. I just love running around and fighting 4 people all at the same time and creating space.
They're also terrible on sleeps because the sword stun is so strong right now.
So so you guys so you get married and then you have this life together. You're teaching. You said she was doing her master's program.
And she started teaching at the college I went to, and then she's done a couple of things. She's back to teaching now, teaching college. But she for a long time, for the last several years, had been like into marketing and like being a digital marketer at like an agency and stuff. So she's been doing that for several years, and like, I don't think it really was something she was like super enjoying and passionate about. So she's like, I want to look around for other things. And I was like, yeah, dope. And I think she's kind of been wanting to get back into teaching because she loves like speech communication and loves teaching. Like, she's just a nerd for that. So
you find this opportunity in Orlando, and then you're able to uproot, right? Because you're doing everything online. Do you have to switch districts or switch did you have to change up your job at all, or it's totally kosher the fact that you're now based in Florida?
Yeah, I didn't even tell him I moved until I was already here.
Really? Dude, there's a lot of that going on in COVID because like there's so much work from home. There's like a lot of companies are starting to realize that they don't need that overhead. Like, you know what I mean? Like that same overhead that they've been paying for. So I've been hearing just like in my world, hearing people be like, yo, I moved, I changed, locations. I actually moved out of the city and I didn't even tell my job because I don't go in anymore. Like I'm never there, but they're like, I told them after that they've been functional for like maybe a month or two, but like, they're not even going in anymore.
Yeah, so it was kind of that situation. Like, I gave him a heads up that I was gonna move, and then I moved, and then I told him my new address when I got here. So it was
So this
it doesn't matter to them. Like, it doesn't, as long as I have a valid teaching license, which I do. They don't care.
So you say you got this job, you had applied. You got this job in 2014, and
It started in 2015. Yeah.
oh, it started in 2015. Okay, how did you? At what point do you look to your wife, and at what point do you like say to yourself, I need to start making content and putting it out in the world?
So this is interesting. So around that time, 2014 is when I I started streaming a little bit, and I had aspirations of playing some pro Halo. You probably know all about that, right? So I had some aspirations of being, on competitive teams and playing in tournaments, and it was hard for me to find a team. You know what I mean? So I took to online, and there was a tournament going on, and I got on the forums and was like, as you did back then, I was like, hey, listen, I want to play in this tournament. I need some guys that are decent, and we can like play together and try to see how it goes.
Which Halo?
This was Halo. This was Halo. Well, 2014. That'd be H2A, right?
Oh my God, Halo 4. In 2014, Halo. No, that was H2A. That was H2A.
H2A, right?
Yeah. In 2014,
so
dude, that's way late.
Beginning. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's like way after Halo's prime.
I'd been playing Halo a long time, but I didn't have anyone to compete with. I used to watch it on, ESPN and stuff, and like rip through Halo 3s, get my 50 in Lone Wolves and stuff. But I didn't have anyone to play with. Even like, the kids in my school would like play they Xbox, right? They'd like play like FIFA, or we'd play Halo, but like they'd want to like, hey, let's do. Where did our ship go?
I'm sailing it to a hiding spot that we normally go to.
Okay. Like, where they would play like, hey, let's play like no gravity and hammers and yada yada yada. And I'm like, no. Let's play 4v4
like
MLG
comp
rules.
settings. Yeah, like comp settings.
Yeah, and so I never really had anyone to play with, so I was always like solo grinding Halo. And so
Yo, is that skull down?
I don't know. Did they already finish it? No, it's there to our left.
Key's not up. Is it? Why am I not seeing it? Just the clouds?
Yeah, it's right here. I can see the eyes right off our port side.
You can see the eyes? Why am I not seeing? Am I blind right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not on your screen. Look at my screen.
Oh my God.
Right there.
Oh yeah, it was just hiding behind that cloud. Okay. The clouds are different, dude.
Blue.
Clouds are different.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know that people saw different clouds. I thought we all saw the same clouds. So you're obviously looking for that competitive outlet. Halo was dope, man. Like, I did that, so it was always
right.
like I would travel and compete, do the whole MLG thing. But were you into sports? Like,
yeah,
did you play? Did you play a bunch of
growing
sports?
up, I was into band a lot, riding marching band and stuff. But I ran cross country. I played baseball. I played tennis for a little bit when I threw my shoulder out in baseball and couldn't play anymore.
So you were a pretty competitive person. That's why you were trying to find. You were finding that outlet. I
don't know, man. Like, honestly, like I don't know that I am a competitive person. Like I used to wrestle when I was like in like a little kid, and I used to just kind of roll over and wave at my parents. I'm just very chill. I'm very, you know what I mean? Like I get up competitive, but more with video games than I do with sports. Or like I really excel at like stupid games like ping pong. Not that that's a stupid game necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like games rather than sports. I don't know. I was always better like that kind of stuff and music and all that. And I think my sister is more competitive than me.
So it's 2014.
Like
so it's 2014 and H2A drops, and you're like, man, I want to look for, I want a team that is down to practice every day and go to tournaments. Yeah. And do you find it?
So I played Halo 3 all through college, right? And through high school, through college. We got to get rid of this skeleton ship or it's going to sink us. I played it all through college and with friends, and like I just missed playing, and I missed playing at a high level with people because I had some roommates in college that were good, even though we didn't compete or anything. But yeah, I just was like, I was watching a lot of the H2A tournaments and stuff. I was like, you know what? I want to get into it. I want to do it. I want to actually like compete. And
the Skellies, dude, what we got Flameheart and we got.
I know they're shooting through the rocks though, which is fine. So confusing though. I'm just like listening to these cannon shots. So confusing.
So you started out, yeah, they are shooting right through the rocks. What the heck? I'm gonna take us up to Castaway. I don't think we'll ag them on Castaway.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it's 2014. And you start streaming at the same time as you start competing, or are you focused only on competition at first?
So I'm looking for these guys to play with, right? And I meet this crew, and we start kind of playing together a bit, and you know they're decent, but we play together, and we play the tournament, and we ended up losing first round of this tournament, but the team didn't show up for like 30 minutes, right? And that's a no-no for online tournaments, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
You forfeit after X amount of minutes. Well, this was like a VWS at the time was like a semi-pro team.
Okay, VWS.
Yeah, I think,
who was on that?
I have no idea. I can't remember, but they were like a semi-pro, you know, amateur team or whatever.
Got it. Yeah.
And you know, they played favorites with them and let them in the tournament, right? And even though, so there was this whole back and forth with us, and we're like, you know, we should just move on. But in any case, we they stomped us, dude, because they were like, you know, they were serious. They were no joke. And the guys that I was playing with, come to find out, really weren't that great at Halo. They just wanted to play. You know what I mean? And but I became really, really good friends with those guys, you know, and I still am friends with those guys, and they all lived in together, like in Pennsylvania. And so we ended up starting, they had a YouTube channel, and we ended up starting, I ended up joining them to like do content on their YouTube channel, like unboxings and tech reviews,
Right.
and we just started a podcast, and it was like, you know, we had a great time, you know, it was doing all this stuff. And so that's kind of where you know, I started streaming on my own a little bit, you know, just testing it out, like seeing what it was, but it wasn't really like something I did a lot. You know, I used to just play Black Flag and get drunk on a Saturday, call it drunk Sailor Saturday. You know, like I'd just drink a bottle of whiskey and play Assassin's Creed, and you know, if anybody showed up, they showed up. You know what I mean? And
So the team that you went with, or the team that you competed with, online tournament, right? Game battles.
yeah.
So the team that you competed
game
with.
battles and whatever. I don't remember the organizers, but you know, yeah, it was a series of game battles and other stuff, like just random stuff. But I played with these guys, became friends with them. So Halo didn't really pan out for us, but I did join, like started streaming. You know, I started streaming on their Twitch channel a little bit. Started streaming on their YouTube. Hitbox, when that was a thing, when it came out. Streamed on Beam originally when it was a thing.
Beam, dude, that's a minute ago. Didn't Microsoft buy Beam?
Yeah, it became Mixer.
And then Beam was the initial base for Mixer, yeah. So you streamed on Beam, dude. That's that's how early to Mixer you were.
No, actually, so that was 2016. So basically I dabbled for a couple of years, right? I was just screwing around, you know. I'd stream a little bit, like I said, you know, kind of like everyone does. You just test the waters a bit, and
right.
No schedule, no consistency. But then in 2015, I joined a Halo community for a podcast called the Drunken Halo Podcast. And I was playing Halo 5 very seriously and found some guys who were really good. And we did some game battles and, you know, never competed or anything like that. But we were, you know, Onyx, and some of those guys were champs. You know what I mean? Like we were
brother,
hitting it hard.
Did you see that Hail Mary? We're pulling aggro on those guys.
What?
Did you see that Hail Mary shot?
Oh my gosh, dude.
No
way.
Yeah, where our boat is right now has aggro on the Snake Island Flameheart event.
Can they hit it?
They just sent one, man. They sent one like it was Aaron Rodgers on a Thursday night.
Oh
last
my gosh.
second going for the Hail Mary.
We're never gonna get to this point of the day.
I know. What we got to go back and make sure we don't have any holes. I saw him send it, man. That was massive.
Anyway, so like, you know, I started messing around, you know, with Halo 5, and I got really involved in this Halo community. And they did like crazy tournaments, right? You know, they would do like community tournaments, 1v1s and stuff.
You go to the fort. I'm murmuring back for a second. I'm gonna make sure we have hold, and then I'm just gonna swim over.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so you got in this Halo community for Halo 5.
Yeah.
And dude, Halo 5 was like a great game. I thought competitively.
It's a fantastic game.
Yeah, I thought it was a great like Reach and 4. Like those did nothing for me. I felt no competitive merit to those games, and I think that's why the community probably dissipated then. But
yeah,
5 was awesome and worth the time. Like it would have been worth it had the community, like the Halo community, kind of galvanized around it, you know. So, but it sounds like that's what you guys were trying to do, is like basically reform like a loyal competitive base.
In Halo 5, they had the Spartan companies, you know, where you could have 100 people and you could like do stuff in game to like get like specific armors, like create achievements, like getting so many kills, getting so many, you know, all that stuff. So that was kind of how it formed. And this podcast I listened to was a forming one. So I joined in and we had a Slack channel and we all just started chatting, you know, and I met a lot of really good friends there and a lot of streamer friends that became streamer friends later on. And, you know, and just really enjoy that community. And so they were doing these tournaments and, you know, they were doing 1v1s, 2v2s, all that stuff, but nobody was like streaming them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so I was like, well, you know, I've streamed a little bit and I was streaming a little bit on the side on my own anyways. I was like, hey, you know, if you want, I'll stream and commentate all of these tournaments. And so we would have like a month-long 1v1 and I would probably stream like 200 hours worth of commentary.
Whoa. So you were
like
casting?
Anytime someone had to, anytime someone wanted to 1v1, right, they would text me. They would just be like, hey, our 1v1 match is going down in 20 minutes. And so for like a month, I just like cleared my calendar, you know what I mean? So I could just, okay, I'll get on and I'll stream it. And then I still have the VODs to this day saved from those tournaments. And we started doing like a yearly charity thing for Gamers Outreach called the Halo Bowl. And it was like every Halo podcast community came together and duked it out. And
dude, you were in the Halo community, man, but you were in it like way later, like because the Halo, from what I know, because I was in, dude, I competed, I traveled, but I was done by 09. Like for me it was like 04/05 to 09. And like from everything I understand about the Halo world afterwards, it looked and felt completely different, you know, like it's way more online based. I guess just because there was no more MLG and like land based tournaments.
Well, H2A kind of brought some of that back. Oh man, I got a Merm pop. Hold on, I gotta get back to the rowboat.
Are you getting on their boat?
I had a Merm pop. I was gonna, you know what? Oh yeah, I'll just go for the boat tuck.
You just go for the boat. Get one of those canopy tucks. Also, do you have music rolling on? Do you know if they're on Gray Marrow yet?
It doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
It's just kind of that you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I got really involved with Halo, and I'd always been involved with Halo, but like doing Forge Hub and like all sorts of stuff through the years. But you know, at that point, I was casting and commentating tournaments and stuff like that, and that's actually where I like started to really develop into like wanting to do that.
So you got it, dude. Your foot forward was with casting and not like just like daily streaming.
Well, honestly, like I didn't really gain a lot of popularity then. I think my first year of like taking Twitch seriously, like with a schedule and like, you know, hey, we're gonna do this thing, was like 2016. You know, up to then I'd just been kind of screwing around. You know what I mean?
Right. So when did you go live on Twitch the first time?
2014.
And it was all based around the esports cast, the casting, the Halo events.
No, it was just me messing around. It wasn't until 2016 that I started, 2015, 2016 that I started doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
And so like I decided to cast these tournaments for the community, and then that kind of led me to streaming a little bit more on my own. And then I was like, you know what, I need a schedule, right? I gotta be consistent. So I started to do, you know, this whatever schedule I could manage at the time. You know, I wasn't working from home, so it wasn't quite so easy to fit in the hours. You know, because I was, you know, had to physically go every day, and that ate up time and commuting. And so, you know, like I'm commentating, I'm part of this community, I'm streaming on my own, and a lot of my first viewers were from that community, and you know, first subs and things like that. And I think my first year of like taking it seriously in like 2016-ish, 2016, 2017, that time period, I think I gained like 700 followers on Twitch, you know what I mean, in a year. Which for the time I felt great about that.
Well, I mean, come on, it's like, your first 700. That's not easy.
Yeah, I felt great.
You're going from zero. You got, you know, first time you go live, there's no one there.
Yeah, and I would average, you know, somewhere between, you know, maybe 10 and 15, 20 viewers, you know, like nothing crazy. But then, you know, in 2018, early 2018, I kind of just like saw the opportunity for going to Mixer, you know what I mean? So like, less saturated, a lot more directory play. Like I tried to play Sea of Thieves when it came out on Twitch. This is the funniest story, dude. I tried to play Sea of Thieves and I was like, this is gonna be my main game, but nobody was having it because at that point I was playing Halo, Overwatch, PUBG, and like no one was having it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like no viewership for it. So it took me, moving to another platform and then re-finding the game a few months later and like building the directory myself to be able to stream Sea of Thieves like as a content creator. You know what I mean?
So you were heavy into
so weird.
like those are all the competitive games. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking you're talking like you're a super competitive person. You got these Halo castings going on. I mean, PUBG, Overwatch, these were, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these are
I love
more
esports.
yeah. So this is why when you play Sea of Thieves, you're normally just looking to slay out.
Yeah.
Oh, did you park the rowboat behind the fort?
I did, behind the fort.
Okay. I just saw the little light on. I was like, oh, okay. Is there another rowboat there? That's ours.
No, that's ours. Yeah, dude. So, but no one was having it, and it's, it's kind of crazy because like, I go to Mixer and there's another sloop sailing in from the north here too.
You sure it's not me?
Oh, is that you?
'Cause I am.
Okay,
I'm north of you, by in between
Gotcha,
the
yeah.
fort and the shipwreck.
That's you. That's you.
Okay, so you make the switch to Mixer. You start streaming on Mixer in 2018,
Yeah. Like
and
May.
at that point, do you view in your life content creation as a meaningful source of income, or is it still just like
Oh no.
this hobby that you love to put time into because you're building community and you get so much like positive social feedback from it?
Yeah, man. It just was more of a fun thing. Like I wanted to make it something serious. You know what I mean? Like, and I spent a lot of time on Twitch doing the wrong things since 2014. You know what I mean? It took me. I was a slow learner in this aspect.
What
I'm
were
usually
the
not,
wrong things?
being inconsistent, like playing the wrong games, playing the wrong time of day, like, and it was a lesson in like learning how to talk to chat, even when there's no chat, like there's just, the things you learn along the way.
Right.
I feel like people learn them so much faster, but maybe that's because we have YouTube and stuff now. Like I feel like in 2014 there were no resources. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also feel like there's probably a lot of really high quality Twitch streams out there, so there's like more refined examples. Because
Yeah.
like even back to like you go back to like 2015, like 2016, the Twitch streams that were successful were very, very raw and real. And now I mean Dr. Disrespect's an easy one to point to because the production quality is so high. But production quality standards like what's necessary for Twitch streams, it seems as if they're going up and engagement's going up. It's just a more refined product now than it was.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. But so like I didn't really decide on that. Like I went to Mixer and honestly things went real well. Like I bumped up. I started over there with like I think like 5 viewers within a month. I started a podcast about streaming a month into being on Mixer, and I had just hit 300 followers after a month. And that's coming from having 700 in a year on Twitch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And by the time I left Mixer, by the time I left 5 or 6 weeks before they announced they were shutting down, by the time I left, I was at 24,000 followers in like a year and a half.
Wait, so you punted you punted on those 24K, quote unquote, that 24K specific audience.
Yeah.
5 weeks before
Yeah.
you even knew it was shutting down.
Yeah. So for me, like I just had more opportunities here as a Sea of Thieves partner. And I'd gone back and forth for like a year with Mixer, trying to get them to do more drops to like help me out, and build the community there. Cause when I started streaming Sea of Thieves over there, like I like nosedived into it and no one else was doing it to that degree. And no one else was, really pushing Sea of Thieves as their main game. You know what I mean? And so like I built the directory over there, like hands down. It's not even like a brag. It's just,
You started it. You were the first one.
And I started, and I just leaned into it and just started like being like, hey, I'm the Pirate King of Mixer, and just started like branding myself that way. And
It's like Howard Stern, king of all media. It just works.
It made people so angry, dude. It made people so angry.
What, Pirate King of Mixer?
Yeah, they'd come to my chat and be like, oh no, you're not the blah, blah, blah. They just get so angry. And I'll be like, yeah, I am.
You'd be like, look at you, you're here watching me.
Yeah. So it definitely ruffled feathers, which it was designed to. You know what I mean? It was meant
Right.
to. And it worked. And and that led to me. I was given a lot of opportunities by Mixer, man. Like there was a lot of cash coming in from their Sparks program, which was like people watch, they get a currency, they use that currency in your channel, and then Mixer pays you money based on how much they use. So like there was some good times on Mixer in terms of when they had that program running. Like I was able to go to a lot of conventions. I was invited to E3 to play in the battle for LA, because I was like one of the main Sea of Thieves people on the site.
Yep.
You know, that money from Mixer allowed me to like go to like Guardian Con and meet the devs again and play at the Battle for Orlando. You know, get to know the devs and a lot of streamers and a lot of industry people. And so like, had a lot of opportunity there, you know, because of Mixer, and then, you know, getting involved with Sea of Thieves and stuff like, because they did mostly just started because they did the Mixer loots, you know, when they did the first kind of quote unquote drops over there.
I didn't know they had a drops program. It was called Loots.
It was the very first before Twitch had drops.
Before
Mixer
Twitch
had
did?
loots. Yeah, and so Sea of Thieves did the spinal figurehead over there, and that was right when Arena dropped, and like my channel blew up like 4,000 followers in a week. You know what I mean?
Watching you grind, well, just because it's that integration perspective.
Grinding 12 hours a day
Yeah.
on Arena after I get off work, and then I'd play Arena for 12 hours.
What is your wife's? So I mean, it's obviously something you love, and you're pouring your heart and soul into it because you're creative. You know, you had you were musically driven, but I mean that just comes from a creative place. So then you start pouring your time into it outside of your working hours. I mean, what is your wife saying? What is your wife saying at this point?
So, you know, she gets it. She's a gamer. She loves like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and stuff like that. There definitely were some times where early, maybe not early on, but like once I was on Mixer and I was like, okay, hey, I'm starting to get some traction. Like, and to be successful here, I got to stream
more
all night, you know, and I have to not sleep, and I have to push myself 7 days a week, and I have to like kill myself to get anywhere, you know, which is in sometimes that's what you have to do. And so like there were some times where she was like, you know, hey, we're not hanging out, and like, you know, we'd get frustrated with each other, and I don't think we like really talked it through the way we should have, but like, you know, I could tell she was frustrated with me, right?
So at some point is she like, hey, you gotta like reprioritize, like you're putting way too much time into this?
Eventually we had, you know, conversations where like, and I think it was like a mutual thing where I was also like, I agree that I need to find some balance here, and like, so I think we started taking like one night a week off on the same night, you know, like hey, let's make these nights like I'm not gonna stream, you know, we'll just hang out, you know, and make sure we're spending time together, and they're done. Or no, it's never mind, that's the boss.
Darn Gray Mare now?
Boss is coming. Yeah.
All right, that'll take him another 10-15 probably.
So yeah, and so, you know, and that was before she really understood. Now she streams.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you say
piano.
before she understood, is there a point where you start making enough income that is sort of like you start proving, you're like, hey, look, like I knew that this would eventually pay off? Or is it does she just see it as like, this is something you do because you love it, but doesn't matter, you still need to prioritize it?
Yeah, I don't know that money has ever been like a factor in that discussion necessarily. Like I said, like at Mixer with the way they had Spark set up, you know, real talk, I made more streaming that first year on Mixer than I did at my day job.
Really?
Yeah. But I reinvested it in, you know, a lot of it into PCs, into equipment for her stream as well. I reinvested a lot of it into trips to networking trips, into equipment, you know, all the stuff that we needed.
What does she stream? What's her stream? Do you do you care to call it out? What does she normally play?
Destiny is a big game on her. She's been playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now, and we both are in the same D&D games together on Wednesday and Friday nights. And so you know, she plays I think a little bit more RPG based, a little bit more. But you know, Destiny 2 is like a huge game for her.
Did you ever get into Destiny?
Yeah, I was huge into Destiny 1, dude.
D1 was
for a
great.
long time. And Destiny 2 was fun for a while.
For a minute, what sold me on Destiny was the raids. I always thought like the raids in D1 were like, I don't know. For me, those were like set the standard, you know.
I only played the rest of the game so that I could do the raids.
Exactly.
And I'd do 3 raids on a Tuesday. You know what I mean?
You know,
working from home.
You can never replicate it like in this game, because this game isn't about gear score. It's not about grinding for a better armor or better weapons. But like you could definitely replicate some of the mechanics. You know what I mean? Like going through like King's Fall, or like some of the more mechanically driven moments. You could replicate some of that and see. I've always thought Sea of Thieves.
I just got kicked.
Oh, good.
No.
You just got wait, was that AFK timer?
No, my connection to Xbox Live has been lost. It's the same thing that was happened to you the other day.
The other day?
This happened yesterday.
Oh no,
dude. Let me see if I can rejoin this
Yeah,
session.
yeah, you'll get back. You'll get back in. You'll get back in.
I had the tuck, man. I had the tuck.
I know you had it. You were in place. It's all right. This is just it makes it a little more challenging. They're cannoning Grim right now. I'm gonna cannon over. Just to make sure, just in case they finish, we have someone there.
Network error occurred. I might have to shut this thing down and get a new invite.
Ooh, good lord.
Which sucks because I didn't leave the boat. I'll keep trying.
Wait, which boat?
I got kicked, so like it'll probably hold my place for a while. So it may not let me rejoin. I don't know.
It might.
I'm trying. I had this problem yesterday, and I know that others have been having this problem this week. Rip the servers.
It's just I can't believe it just removed you. That was happening to me the other night.
Yeah. Just total like
whenever you and I were you and I were trying to prep it. While you join in real quick, guys, everybody, thank you for listening so far to Party Boats and Thieves podcast episode 5 with MUDCAT. Y'all, Party Boats and Thieves is a podcast experience brought to you and fueled by Madrinas Coffee. Madrinas brings you the absolute best tasting cold brew worldwide, making it available in both 16-ounce cans and our brand new 8 serving powder tubs. The Madrinas cold brew powder just launched this summer, guys. So if you want to give it a try, it's our brand new format that we ship our cold brew in. You can head over to madrinascoffee.com and now use discount code MUDCAT to get 20% off your entire order. And if you guys use discount code MUDCAT, you will see on his stream a little Madrinas can fly out. Put your name at checkout to make sure that it says your name on his screen on the overlay. But yeah, guys, thank you everybody for listening so far to Party Boats and Thieves episode 5. Dude, thanks for joining again, by the way, for this.
Appreciate it, dude. It's been fun.
Yeah, we got to get. Are you completely DC'd?
Yeah, dude. I might have to like join a new server and then have you re-invite me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna focus on getting on the ship right now.
Okay. Let me try that. Cause that's I had to do that last time. I had to Alt F4 out and
yeah,
my stream might go down there for a second.
So then, okay, so getting it back, back to the timeline here. It's like 2018, and you're streaming on Mixer, but then 5 weeks before Mixer shuts down, you make the switch because you see Twitch as a better platform for Sea of Thieves specific content creators. Yeah.
So I had spent a lot of time networking, right? Especially once the partner program was out. I knew a lot of guys like you guys on Twitch, and I'd played with you guys. We had done some events like the Guardian of the Key,
right?
And stuff like that. I was just, I was making sure I was really plugged into the larger Sea of Thieves community the whole time. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
The whole time I'm playing, and so.
I mean, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. It's all the same game. We're all playing the same thing.
And I was commentating for Sea of Champions, and doing stuff like that as well. And it just kind of got to the point where there wasn't really any more room for me to grow on Mixer. The viewership on the directory wasn't going up. Sub counts and things were just kind of like there was just no room, right? That directory on that platform was not going anywhere. Are you
a numbers guy? Like, are you super into reading like data and the analytics side of what you're doing?
As much as I can be. Yeah.
Like, did you? Because I don't know much about Mixer. I've watched. I've watched a good amount of streams on there, but I don't know much about it from the content creation side. Was there were you monitoring, trying to figure out, hey, as a challenger in the market to Twitch, I got to make sure that this platform is growing year over year? Were you monitoring the platform's growth? Were you looking at that at all, or did you just get the vibe that they weren't reinvesting, or they're kind of heart and soul were no longer in it?
Kind of a little bit of both. I mean, there were reports that came out with numbers and stuff, and I was seeing that my own directory wasn't really growing. In concurrent with the platform not really seeing much growth. Man, I'm getting cyan bearded, dude. My connection to Xbox Live is gone. Let me.
How's that?
Can't even log into the main menu, dude.
I'll tell you what. If I get tucked, and you need to close out, are these guys sinking? What is happening here? I just heard something not good from this ship.
Oh boy.
What was that noise I just heard? No, they're doing fine. I don't know what I just heard.
So I'll keep trying here.
Okay. If you need to close out, I can always and you need to reset your your screen. I can always just do the text stuff on my side to make sure it happens.
Yeah, I already closed out once. It's just not aside from restarting the PC. I don't know what would be the go-to. In any case, like, yeah, I'm seeing the numbers not grow. I'm seeing people on Twitch, pull much better viewership, much better monetization, by X multiplier. Even the streams that I consider to be kind of on par with my level of viewership, because I was still pulling, decent viewership over on Mixer, right? It being at the top, like, we're pulling in 3-4 times as many subs as me, you know what I mean? Because of the platform, and then because of drops, like, and I wanted it to work out on Mixer because I liked Mixer, you know what I mean? But they just were like unable or unwilling to do anything to like help people out, in that way. And they used to, it was a big shift over the like year and a half I went, because it used to be like very much, they'd go to bat for you, and then like it just kind of became a whole different structure. And so I was like, yeah, well, you know what? I'm just not getting drops. Like, I've got this opportunity as a content creator with being a partner in Sea of Thieves that I'm not being able to take advantage of. The directory's not growing anyways. I was like, so, let's just make a change. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm being told that like Sea of Thieves, like altogether, just kind of crashed.
Oh, perfect. You got to love that.
Like, I'm still in, but these guys aren't here anymore. And I think they got DC'd.
No way.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not doing this for the damned because they're not here.
Dang it. Wow.
I'm gonna go. I'll probably just finish it. I don't know how much longer it'll take, but I'll just finish it.
I'll keep trying to get in on you. Sure. Whenever the servers pop back up, maybe. Yeah. So I made the switch, and it went really well, especially because I timed it to switch right before a week before Sea Thieves hooked me up with some codes, right? So I gave away a bunch of obsidian packs.
Yeah.
And then I hit the 14 days of drops, like we came out the gate running over here, just jumped up to just jumped straight up to like 8K followers from that 700 I still had. It's been kind of crazy.
Yo, that 14 days of Twitch drops was absolutely wild. More so than like any other Twitch drops period. That one was crazy.
Dude, that was insane, man. That was hard.
So you had made the switch literally right before.
Yeah, so I made a switch, and like it literally, I think I've been there like maybe a month. I just gotten past a month or something, and then Mixer's like, yeah, we're shutting down. And I was like, wow, look at the timing on that,
Yeah.
Funny thing is I think it worked out negatively for me. It was so weird because like when I moved over, like things were like going very, very well. And people from Mixer were like kept coming over to check out the stream and like would bring people over and stuff like that. I don't know why, it just kind of kept happening. But once everyone moved from Mixer and like the whole thing shut down, like the whole like space just got completely jumbled. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Surge in supply.
Yeah, it was so weird. So it definitely impacted the stream a little bit. I felt like I was like, that's crazy how that works. So but yeah, so like I made that switch, and somewhere along the way at Mixer, I just decided like, I was putting enough time in and seeing the growth, and I'd made some money, and I was like, yeah, but I'm not gonna get to the point where I want to be. The goal is be full time, and be full time and do some other stuff on the side, like get some serious commentating gigs and stuff like that. But wasn't gonna happen on Mixer is how I felt about it. Because I just feel like they'd stopped caring, and obviously they had, right? They didn't tell their staff that, but they were handcuffing their staff, not letting them do anything. So
I mean, honestly, I feel like they got I think their expectations were a little off. I mean, I don't know, I didn't work there, so what do I know? You just hear stuff through the grapevine. But I mean, I think their expectations were that they were going to grow into the next Twitch in like 2 years, and like Twitch didn't grow into, like, it's taken Twitch every bit of over a decade to get to this point, because you're building you're building community, and there's like real relationships there. So it's like you can't fake that. Real relationships take time. You got to nurture them. You know, one viewer at a time. It's just kind of how it works. I always got the sense that Mixer was like could have and should have like built its own thing, but they didn't have the patience for it.
I don't. You know, it's hard to say like what went wrong. I mean, there's a lot of things they were doing very, very right. You know,
on the tech side.
And then on the tech side, on the community side, on the everything side, like they were doing a lot of things right. But then, you know, along the way, like, you know, both founders got kind of, from what I'm understanding, you know, they left, quote unquote, but I think they were forced out. And, you know, Microsoft got more hands-on, and then, you know, does what Microsoft does and just kind of dumps it. You know what I mean? Stopped investing in it, and investing in, you know, they had a problem with not investing in mid-tier creators, right? They paid for guys like Ninja and stuff, but then never really, they stopped investing in their mid-tier,
right,
or low-tier people who were then, you know, like the next, you know, potentially
the next talent, you know,
money makers,
the next like AAAs or whatever.
You know, and to some degree, like there was always this like resistance towards competing with Twitch. From
what?
You know,
from
like
a PR standpoint?
Like in general, like they you know, they refused to match basic functionality of Twitch. You know what I mean? Like they're like, well, we're just doing our own thing. Like, well, you know, we want to be able to gift 100 subs at a time. You know what I mean? Like they just, and they were working on some of that, but like there were some areas where they just like willfully were just like, we are not competing with Twitch. We're doing our own thing. And I heard that rhetoric straight from the staff members' mouths plenty of times.
Yeah, I see. It's like, that's fine. It's fine not to be obsessed with the competition, but you gotta at least acknowledge. I mean, this is just a little more business. You know, you gotta like, yeah, just acknowledge it.
Parity you need.
Yeah, like, because that's what drives innovation, and that's what drives value for the consumer, is like when two companies are competing for that consumer's, you know, share of mind. You know, so you kind of at a very fundamental level, you got to like own up to the fact that, yeah, you have a competitor. You don't fixate on them. You don't become obsessed with them, but you just stay vigilant, right? You just stay like, watch what they're doing and see what works, see what doesn't, and then try to replicate.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, you know, so, you know, spend time there. And I just kind of, you know, I moved to Mixer kind of on a whim, like a gut call, right? And I was like, I just feel like I would have more opportunity, more growth here. And so like, you know, literally like within a day or two, I just was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I just ripped it.
That's how quick that decision was made?
Yeah. I just ripped it and went to Mixer.
Man.
You know, and
did you like, so how much, and you know, like, you know, your audience is your audience, like, right? You have people that love to come and hang with you whenever you're live, but like, how much did you see, like, were you overwhelmed by the amount of people that were like on Mixer that came over to like hang with you on Twitch? Or did you feel like it was an altogether like a reset on the people that come and hang with you when you're live?
So when I went from Mixer to Twitch, like very few people came with me. Right, but I didn't have a big community of like regular watchers anyway. So that wasn't like a huge thing. But when I left, you know, Mixer, I had you know, what I felt was like a pretty good crowd of regulars, and yeah, I was definitely setting up for a restart, a reboot, you know.
Right.
But I thought, you know, I've got opportunities there, and I have, you know, some notoriety in the larger Sea of Thieves community that I think people will pick up my channel pretty quick, right? Just from name recognition in the space. And
right.
But I came over, dude, and we just started ripping at like 50 or 60 viewers. So like you know, just kind of like, I was like, oh, okay then. And then not only that, but like, you know, other partners and stuff who played late night or, you know, started stopping in and like hosting, or, you know, and especially through drops, like it kind of just like went really, really well.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a community of people, you know. It's not you know, the platform doesn't determine success. It's like, you know, how it's the person to person. It's like, as you know, we were talking about before with like the relationship side. So bro, that's crazy to hear that it only took you like 2 days to make that decision. You know?
No, for Mixer to Twitch took me a long time to make. When I went to Mixer, it took me like a day. When I came back to Mixer, I was sitting on it for like 8 months, 9 months, dude. Like I was having conversations with Sea of Thieves. I was having conversations with
about just about leaning into it heavier on Mixer.
Yeah, and I was talking to like guys like Hippo who had come over already, and I was, you know, because I knew Hippo on Mixer, and like, you know, Mixer wasn't, you know, super popular for him, and he came over you know, when I was talking to him, I was like, you know, how'd you find that transition and stuff? And, you know, he was all like, do it, do it, do it. uh, but you know, I was, you know, I was talking to a lot of people, talking to my friends, talking to a lot of people for months. And at one point I was decided like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But then I held off, right? Because Mixer was doing some other things that like seemed like good moves for them at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait it out a little bit more. Let me wait till quarter 2, see where things are at. You know, so I kept waiting for a while, and I really took my time. But
Did your
you know,
did your wife have a strong opinion one way or the other?
no, she's pretty cool with whatever I do, honestly. Like when you know, she was streaming on Mixer by that point because she started, you know, playing D&D with us, and then slowly got into streaming herself. And
Right.
then now we both stream every night or most nights. And so, you know, I just was like, you know, I'm not really seeing anything here on Mixer. I'm gonna move to Twitch. And she's like, okay, cool. And you know, so I did, and she stayed on Mixer and until it shut down. And now she's here on Twitch too. So you know, and you know, I think she's used to me, like, even though it took me a long time to decide or like to pull the trigger on Twitch, like I do make decisions very quickly. You know, because I have a pretty good gut instinct about things, I think, and at least like, you know, what's right for me. And so when I do something like you know, it's kind of like jumping into hobbies, like I said earlier, like I don't really half-ass it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was like, you know, I think I'd rather try out, you know, Twitch or whatever. Like, okay, let's do it, you know. And so I think she's just kind of used to me just, kind of just pulling the trigger on things on a whim.
Are you like from a casting perspective? You said you were doing Sea of Champions, right? You were casting
one
it
tomorrow.
You got one tomorrow?
We got one tomorrow.
How much of your energy goes into casting versus just daily live streaming?
Not a lot of energy into casting right now, honestly. You know, I pick up some Sea of Champions stuff. I was doing the Notorious Arena League for a while, but we parted ways, and so I did been doing the Sea of Champions since they came out. Like as soon as they announced it, I was like in Chromagon's DMs, like, hey dude, I want in.
I want in.
Like, let me cast. And so I've casted like probably more than anybody else for them, but I haven't been actively putting a lot of effort recently into, you know, pursuing that, because I'm still just trying to like, I feel like I'm trying to find my footing on Sea of Thieves, and not just Sea of Thieves, but like on Twitch, you know, and like just trying to get where I want my stream to be.
So I mean, so like I know the answer to this question, and you know, you can answer it however you want, because I know how you don't want to say too much. What's next for MUDCAT? What's next for you and your world of content? Answer that however you want. Like I said, I know the answer, so it's like I know you want to keep a lot of what you like your vision, you know, your larger creative vision, like more under wraps for now. But like however you want to answer that, you go for it.
We had a very NDA'd conversation this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told my community there's gonna be some pretty big changes coming to the channel. I don't know how much I want to say, but I will say
you don't have to. Like I said, you can answer however you want. I just wanted to even like saying that you have big changes coming up, that's an answer enough.
I think what I will say, we'll have to do another episode of this after I like change everything, and see how it goes. What I will say is, like, in kind of keeping with what you were saying earlier, like production value is kind of, to me, is like the king right now. I feel like there's a shift away from, or coming away from, this mentality of a stream, and more the mentality of like a I don't know, man. I don't know what the word is, like a show, produced content. Like even we're seeing it even in YouTube, like the guys that are really succeeding on, especially in the Sea of Thieves directory. Look at the YouTube guys, you know what I mean? Curated content, produced content is huge right now, and I think people want that interactivity component from live streams, but they also want Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? They want,
not Game of Thrones. A better show than Game of Thrones.
Right, but production value wise, like they want you to like give them something, and so I really think there's a space for narrative content, and highly produced content, and even you know, I keep talking about Netflix getting in on the space and like producing like TV shows in one cut on a live channel or something like that. You know, like I think there's a space for that kind of thinking, that kind of mentality. Maybe not, you know, doing everything exactly that way. There's still a lot of variety in there and what you could do, but I think there's like a lot more for like actual broadcasting, even stuff like this, like podcasting, right? Like you're more produced here, and you know, things that have been thought out and have themes and have a flow and plan to them, and you know.
Oh, we're produced here. Dude, that's the best compliment I've gotten.
You know what I mean? Like
this whole experience.
you,
I told you this. This whole experience is actually duct taped together. It's beyond me. I don't even know how I did this. We got two screens. We got two cameras. This is. I don't even know what's going on. I just work here.
You know, but like I think the space is shifting to that. People want. They want that more produced, high quality in whatever form that takes. And I think the days of sitting there playing a game and chatting, while a lot of people enjoy that, I think a lot of people don't know what they want yet. You know what I mean? In terms of that, like, because they haven't seen it yet.
So basically, what you're saying is there's changes coming, and production quality is important to you.
Yeah, that's it. That's
cool.
it.
That's for everyone to hear. Okay. How is the connection not working?
It is not working.
Dude,
we got Xbox services, and Sea of Thieves is just like, my chat's blowing up. People are like, "Is Sea of Thieves broken for you?"
Oh no, it kicked everybody.
Yeah, it's kicking everybody.
I'm in, man. Everybody. I got Gray Merrill laughing, man. I'm telling all these good jokes.
It's all good, dude. I'm enjoying just chatting here.
No,
so
without a doubt. The skeletons didn't even pop for a while. There was no skeletons for a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got a chance to just DPS Gray Merrill for a bit. Oh, also, here's all their loot. What? I wonder if you're gonna get a chance to come back into this.
Yeah, that'd be so dope. I keep trying to refresh.
Not working. Nothing.
No, it reports for duty for a while, and then it kicks me out.
It's one of those things where you just gotta always check their Twitter.
Yeah.
This is happening the other night. We had, so the other night we were setting up the tech side to make sure, like I said, all this is duct taped together. Like it really is. Yeah. We were setting it all up, and we had this crew of like high school like sounding kids pop in, and they showed up to where our boat was, and we weren't even doing anything. We were just standing there, and they started like trying to slay out, and MUDCAT and I just absolutely clapped them. And they were like, wait a second, no, who are you guys? And they're like, oh wait, MUDCAT, we know MUDCAT. They're like, you know what I mean? So like that, dude, I wish we had
that was a fun little fight.
Oh yeah, I wish someone on this server would have tried to challenge us.
Dude, when they wanted the TDM, and we just like the TDM was a 2v2, and like they said, okay, ready, go, and like we double shot the first guy, and then the second guy just gets double shot too. Like the whole fight lasted about 5 seconds.
But
it was
the second the 5 second fight was over, I got DC'd. Like honestly, I think there's something up with the Sea of Thieves servers this week. They're being weird.
So they were like, it was those two guys and then their friend, and she was like watching, right? Because to make it a 2v2.
Yeah.
And like as soon as we destroyed those guys in UDC, she just was like, oh, she's like, you guys got destroyed. Like, she was like, let them have it, dude. It was so funny.
You're gonna say, hey, this is what it looks like to stream this game every day. We play this game quite a bit.
I don't think people understand, like when you watch someone on stream, like how good some of the people that play the game are. People come in and like, you got some guys that are way better than me, probably way better than you, and like a lot of people like that play a lot, but they're also not talking to 100 people or dealing with OBS and balance and listening to music where they can't hear the ladders. Like you take us offline where we're not really focusing on anything else.
Oh, and you can execute. I always find myself in a position where like if we're about to sink a ship, instead of like going the most efficient route, I always figure out like how can I do this to make it max entertaining? Like where can I go? Where can I find a keg right now? You know what I mean? And make like a Herculean like swim play over to that ship. Instead of just rolling up and just doing the thing where you just dumpster them right away.
Yeah.
It's always trying to find like that like entertainment side.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, that's probably what got you into Sea of Thieves. I know, because I hear it from so many people. It's fun because it's so open-ended, and you can like make anything you want happen in the game. That you want to happen in the game. There's not a lot of other games like this. So I mean,
yeah.
So that, like you said, like in 2018, Sea of Thieves, whenever you played it, like you were sold. And are you as sold now as you have ever been?
No, probably not. Like that was the time I was when it came out, I was still on Twitch, and I was like, dude, this is what I want to do. That's that's what I wanted to do. I want to play this game, and like when the game came out, it was dope, and the adventure part is really fun to me, right? I like having those adventures and doing things with the crews, and
Yeah.
I like the riddles and digging chests. I like the PvE. I just like the PvP just has appealed more to me.
Yeah. Oh
Especially
yeah.
over
The
time.
PvP is
As I
great.
play more and more, like how many times can I sink a skeleton sloop? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but at this point in my content creation, I'd like to be able to branch out a little easier. You know what I mean? And like, I love Sea of Thieves and I like playing it and I want to continue to play it, but I would love to be able to, go the other way. Like before, when I couldn't get anyone to watch me play Sea of Thieves, I would love to be able to get people to watch me play Halo now. You know what I mean?
Halo, are you
It's
waiting
like
for
the
Infinite?
opposite. Yeah, I'm so ready for Infinite, dude.
Yeah, man.
So-
I'm hoping it's like got that. Like even if it's as good competitively as Halo 5, I feel like the community for it's going to be pretty big because it's been so long since we've gotten Halo, man.
Yeah, and I'm a little disillusioned with Sea of Thieves. I'll be honest with you. Like, again, I love the game. It's fun playing. Like, I have really good nights. I have really bad nights. I consider this game to be more a PvP game than anything. And I know like that's a hot take.
I don't know why. You spawn in. It's a first-person shooter. You got a gun that always registers on another opponent. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's no safe space. There's no like in WoW or like in any other like in Destiny when you're at the tower, like and you can't damage it. You know what I mean? Like it's all there, all
Right.
ready to go.
So like for me, like I consider it more of a PvP game. But like it's hard when people want to run away all the time. Like there's just ever since the emissaries came out, there's been this mentality, and it was marked when as soon as the emissaries came out, they started running. Reapers started running. Like we were joking
Reapers
last night
runners.
that the shoes and the pajamas come standard issue. You know what I mean? the sneakers come standard issue with the Reapers garb. Like it was it's just funny because like before that I had no problem. I could sink easily 18, 20 ships in a night solo. Just ship to ship to ship, just fight. Go to a fort, go to whatever. And then they come out with this and like everyone's so concerned with getting to 75. Because I think before like everyone's at 50 and they don't care, right? And now everyone's either new from Steam or they care so much about getting to 75. They care so much about that 5,000 gold on their boat that they don't want to even risk losing it. You know what I mean? Like they run because, in my opinion, they run because they might lose, not because they will lose. Because I get my ass handed to me sometimes.
Well, you're a solo
I'm gonna-
slooper. You're at the biggest disadvantage over any of us.
I get people running away from me 1v4 all the time.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
It's last night I had 2 brigs trying to run from me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
And the worst is like having somebody like I'm chasing them and they're running for 3 hours and they recognize me and say, "Oh man, I love your stream. I love your stream. I always watch it. Blah 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 blah." And I'm
Why
like,
you
if you
running?
always watched it, then you would not be doing this right now. You know what I mean?
You're like, you're not one of mine.
I think I'm in,
You're not my
man.
people.
I think I just loaded into a server.
Oh yes, it's back online. You can probably get back to me.
Yo,
We are
yo.
DPS
If
and
you,
Grey Marrow big.
Let me get in and then send me an invite and we'll see if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me an invite.
All right, cool.
See if I can get in here.
I'm gonna see how fast I can pull this invite off. Hold on 1 second for me. I gotta hide
Oh,
behind
you're
the
all good,
wall.
dude.
I'm gonna go up here.
Yeah,
Oh
dude,
no!
I
No! I gotta get up on top of the tower.
The game is super fun and engaging, but like the mentality of other players has kind of dragged it down for me a little bit, and with changes to the weapons, sword stun and hit reg issues, like there's only so much you can really like enjoy when number one, everyone will run away all night, and then even if you get on their boat, you just get sword stunned by 4 people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like there's just only so much that you can enjoy at that point. But other nights it's fantastic. Things are great, and you find people that want to engage, and
It's also
so
like
it's
a
just
time of day thing. You play 11
Yeah.
p.m. to 5 a.m. And
Yeah.
what do you see from the like NA servers around that time? Like typically, not just this month, but like what do you like if you would say over the past year, if you had to like characterize that? Because I play a completely different time, right? I'm in the morning, so What are those like? What is that? What's the difference for you?
It goes hard for you know, if you find a server that with a lot of people, like if you throw up a, I like to throw up a Reapers and just stay in the server because it draws people to me.
Right.
Um,
You stick to a server. You don't. Did I?
I didn't get it one.
Oh my god. Holy cow! I thought I just invited you.
Oh, I didn't get
Did it not go through? Here, I'm gonna try again. Let me get up to the top. I can't get a second of myself from these skellies.
It's you know, it's like hit and miss, man. The nighttime can be really this week's been really pretty good overall. Like, you know, servers have been full. Maybe a slow start at like 9 when I get on, but by midnight or by 11, you know, I'm usually engaged with several ships, or I've sunk in several ships, and like it kind of tapers off towards middle of the night. You know, once you get to like 3, 4-ish, it starts to taper off. And you know, it's kind of just roll the dice whether you'll still have engagement if you get server merges.
All right, so for anybody that's listening that isn't totally familiar, like, you know, like I said before, you stream 11 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yes.
What? And you also have a full-time gig as you're a history teacher.
Yeah.
So, literally, just like if you can, like walk us through like a normal day for you. What does it look like to do both, and what is your normal day and like your normal week? How does it? What does that look like?
So like, let's see, I stream Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday on my channel. Is that right? Is that right?
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 4 days a week.
I'm missing a day somewhere. Oh, and Saturday nights. 5 days a week I'm streaming on my channel. You know, I get up in the morning, you know, 8-ish, and I work till like 4:35. And then I will, you know, do whatever I need to do around the house, hang out with the wife. She starts streaming around 9. Depending on how work is, you know, because I have some flexibility, sometimes I can squeeze an hour nap in here and there. But you know, like a lot of times I'll just, you know, make dinner, eat dinner, stuff like that after work. But then, you know, once it gets to like 11, you know, we're back on the stream. You know, and in between that time, you know, I'm trying to like be on Twitter, you know, I'm trying to get more consistent back into making YouTube videos. So like, which is time consuming, you know.
I don't know how you have any time for that. So it's like 11 to 5, and then you go to sleep right afterwards.
Yeah, and I sleep for like 3 hours.
Are you hard stop at 5?
No. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I'm
Some lack of responsibility there.
Yeah, I've had to really like rein it in because there's some nights I just don't go to sleep. Like if I'm having a good time, or like even like the schedule's so weird that sometimes I can't sleep. You know, I've kind of like, in some ways I think forced a case of insomnia on myself at times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And there'll be times where I just can't sleep, and you know I won't sleep until like maybe when my wife goes to stream at 9, I'll sleep like 9 to 11, and like that's what I'll get. And then wake up and stream. You know.
And how long has this been your schedule?
Like 2 years.
And so you've been doing basically no sleep. You've been doing 3 hours of sleep a night for 2 years.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Are you feeling that? Are like be totally for real? Like, are you feeling negative effects on your body because of that?
Not really. I feel more negative effects from eating poorly, which sometimes is a result of like me not
having enough time.
Like I'm lazy,
or just not having enough time to prepare something, or you know.
So, but I've been back on eating like a keto diet for a while now. And, you know, definitely feeling way better, losing weight again. So, I've been trying to prioritize that. And honestly, I've been taking off early. You know, sometimes I don't go to 5 anymore. Sometimes I go to 4. Sometimes I
yeah.
So like, but that's been a recent change that I've been like, you know, in the last couple of months that I've like, you know, I need a little bit more sleep, and you know, it's diminishing returns. I think after a certain time, you know, like I started to look at the data, like when my peak viewership is, you know, I know it's at between 1 and 2 a.m. My time. So, you know, after that, it's really just like I can either take the people I have and port to a different game and try to like get some variety in and like use those numbers to stay, or I could just call it a night and like, you know, I'm not really getting any worse off for it. But that's, you know, it's hard mentality when you come from on Mixer. I had to stream all night. I used to stream, you know, like 8 to 4 a.m. like 8 hours. or I would do, you know, some days 12 hours, or I did a split schedule. Like it was kind of necessary, right? Because like nighttime was the time I could grow. I still didn't get an invite from you, by the way.
I sent one. Did it not go through?
Oh no, I didn't. I wonder if their server, I know it was an Xbox this usually. I think maybe the invites are probably down.
Can you join on me? Do you only run the Steam version? Do you have the Xbox version?
I don't have the Xbox version, and every time I try to like join on you, it would send me into. You know what? Hold on. Let me try something. Let me try the Windows bar.
I think Windows bar. You want me to send another invite? See if it pops up there.
Yeah. Let me. Actually, let me see if I can join on you. Hold on. Yeah, this might work. Oh, I just got the invite from you too.
Oh hell yeah! Come on back.
Okay. Cool. All right, I'm in.
Yeah. We're back, baby.
But you know, it was what I had to do on Mixer, right? I had to do this late night stuff.
Yep.
And I had to do crazy hours because, like, unlike a lot of people, my content, I don't know why it is, but my personality, my content, whatever, is like, it's not something that 150 people show up for as soon as I go live. You know what I mean? My stream's a very slow burn for people, I guess.
Is it?
It builds over time, right? I can get up to, you know, 100 plus viewers, but that's I'm not gonna start there. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna sail towards the Fort of the Damned. I'm on our boat. You know, and so that's kind of just, I think that's just my you know, because I'm more of a laid back, chill personality. It's like, you know, there's not a lot of hype there. And so you know, I had to put in like crazy hours to get it to work, right? I'd have to be going 8 hours straight to get anything done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. There's like an initial grind there. Like you got to put the hours, but I mean that's kind of why I'm asking your schedule, because it's like at some point, like you don't envision yourself doing 3 hours of sleep a night for the next 10 years, do you?
No, those changes I was talking about coming to the channel are probably going to also include changes to
your schedule
in terms of, you know, more of like a mentality of hitting it hard and fast,
right?
Than a longer, and maybe even less days a week. I got to figure out how it works for me, but part of this is like doing a kind of content that I think I'm going to enjoy more, but also finding a better balance for my life, because I don't have any hobbies, man, anymore. Like I don't play music anymore. I don't go out with friends. I don't do anything. You know what I mean? I just do this.
Were you a really social person, like in college? Like in growing up, like were you pretty extroverted and like you're going to parties and that, and you know that was your world?
Honestly, I feel like I'm more of an introvert. Like, I have like a gas tank. I always describe it as that. Like, you know, I really like meeting people and going to social things, and like when I'm in those spaces, like I can be very, very charismatic and energetic.
Sure.
But like once I hit empty, like I'm just gonna sit here and not talk. And I'm really different times in my life, I think I've been different ways, you know what I mean? And my natural state is kind of an RBF, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, because you just did this big move. I mean, you just did this big move, and you know, it doesn't sound like you had any ties to, you know, Florida, Central Florida or whatever.
None.
You know, so it's like being down there, do you and your wife, are you like, man, we need to make new friends, but what time do we have to make friends? And like, you know what I mean? Like how, like where are we going to find people to hang out with? Or is that not even a thought for y'all?
I don't think it's a thought for us at the moment because of COVID. Sorry. You know,
I guess that's true. It's
we moved here. We're both working from home, and then we're streaming at night. So there is that restriction on time, but like we haven't really even gotten like a lot of time. We've been here since July and haven't really gotten time to like go out and like, you know, explore the city and like do all the cool things you can do here. You know what I mean? Like, we had friends in Missouri and stuff, and we, you know, spend time with and stuff, but now it's definitely I want to have more friends, you know. Like I didn't have like, you know, I wasn't like super, I got along with everybody, right? But like in terms of like my feelings, I felt like growing up and stuff, like I had very close friends, a couple of them, but I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't having like huge groups of friends, you know what I mean? Like even though I got along with everybody, like I only feel comfortable like being close with like a couple of people at a time, you know what I mean? That's all I have energy for. I can't you know, I can't
get your gas tank.
Yeah, I can't do it, dude. Even the friends I have that I'm close with, like we'll go 6 months without talking, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, we were just talking the other night. When we were setting up, you know, being from Missouri, people love going on float trips here. I mean that, but I mean, like, were you doing that? You said y'all would do it here somewhere in, you know, just somewhere in the state. Was that a family thing, or were you doing it with like your friends here?
Oh, just friends, yeah, and like, you know, and their friends, and like, you know, just being big groups of people, and
Yeah.
yeah, like, you know, I see my family a couple times a year. You know, not that there's like animosity there or anything, but you know, it's just not super close. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Like, my parents are still like, you know, really good people and like support me, and we talk occasionally, and they come and see me, and I go and see them. But like, you know, it just like, just never, you know, it was just never like a priority for me necessarily. And I don't know if that's because, I think that's something to do with my parents being divorced. You know, we could get into the psychology of it, but they were divorced, and I.
Well, how old were you when that happened?
Like 2. It was my whole
Oh,
life.
you were 2. Okay.
Yeah. So like, you know, but I'd spend time, like I'd go to my dad's on the weekends and hang out there, and you know, like I said, my parents, step-parents all get along and stuff. But I just, you know, I just kind of felt with my personality kind of coupled with like the fact that it was like, you know, my family was already kind of like in different places, and like I would see people at different times, that I just never felt the need to be like, hey, you know, let's hang out all the time. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of me anyways. Like, I don't feel that, even with friends, I don't feel that the need to like, you know, we have to make a priority to hang out, you know? It's like, yeah, we'll hang out when we hang out, and we'll have conversations when we have conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this year's been, I mean, like, you know, I typically think I'm pretty extroverted, like love hanging out with people, you know, love talking to anybody. That's why I love like having you out, you know, get to hear so much, and just just ask questions and listen. Like, there's nothing cooler for me than to hear, you know, someone's story, especially when they're like passionate about what they do. So it's like, that's awesome. But it, like, not being able to do it live because of COVID has been a challenge. Has this year been, I mean, you teach online, you're talking about like aligning as like an introvert more. Like, do you feel like this year has impacted you at all, or you feel like that, like you're just kind of like your life was built for it?
Yeah, dude, I feel like I'm just built for this.
For like a quarantine, socially distant world.
Yeah, honestly, like, and don't get me wrong, because like, you know, we go out, and if we go out to a bar with friends or something like that, like, I love telling jokes and having conversations like this. I love interacting, but I like doing it on my own terms when I want to. You know what I mean? You
drink beer? Wait, if you're at a bar, are you drinking beer?
No, I don't like beer, actually.
That's right. That's what you said the other night. You like whiskey.
Whiskey, yeah.
What kind?
Mostly scotches. Big fan of like Macallan and Glenlivet.
Yo, I was at like a big dinner a couple years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. It was like a work thing. And like there was this guy who was super into scotch, and I had asked him, 'cause I don't know anything about it. I just drink beer. Like, I love Corona with lime. That's my jam. But like he was like looking at the menu, and like he was like taking his time, and I was like, what are you looking for? And he was like, oh man, you know, he's like trying to get into it all. And like he got something, he's got like a Macallan like 18.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites actually.
And for Macallan 18,
Mm-hmm.
I remember about him, like he had explained it. It was like aged in like sherry casks, and so it, you know, whatever, how that impacts flavor. I sense no, like I took a sip of it. I was like, I don't know, you know, this tastes like whiskey to me. I don't know, like, you know, do you collect? Like, are you a big whiskey nut? Yeah. I've got a pretty solid library of whiskey. It's kind of dwindled a lot. I haven't bought any in recent months, but still kind of just drinking through what I got. But I had an uncle who was in the liquor business, and so, you know, he ended up when we moved into a house, he gave us a bunch of stuff I'd never had, and you know, I've had the opportunity to try stuff through him but you know, I usually I like everything. I like bourbons, I like scotches, I like, you know, whatever, and I totally get you. Like when you start drinking it, like it just tastes like, you know, rubbing alcohol or whiskey, and I can't believe you like whiskey and you can't drink beer. Like you said, is it like just a flavor thing with beer that you can't drink? Like, no good? Yeah, I've never been able to pinpoint what it is. So let me tell you some things I don't like, and maybe we can find a commonality. Let's do it. I don't like beer. I don't like, you know, I used to drink those, you know, remember those like Sparks or Tilts, those energy drink? Bart. No, I don't remember that. Like the Sparks or Tilt. Sparks? No, I don't. It's just, what is it? Like a kinda cola like energy? Loco. Yeah. Oh, like Four Loco? Yeah, kind of like those things. Those to me taste like beer, and I would drink them, but I don't like them.
you know, any sort of like thing that they make that's like a straw burrito or something, you know, like any of those like
The FMBs for they
crazy
call them,
offshoot.
yeah, they
shoot
call them
ones.
like fermented malt beverages.
Yeah, like it's the same flavor in those I don't like that I don't like in beer, and I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've never been able to pinpoint it. Like what is that flavor? But it's a common flavor in beer, in like any sort of offshoot of like you know, some sort of beer product that's not liquor. You know what I mean?
I guess I never had I've never had a time in my life where I'm like I mean I showed up at college. It's like 30 packs of Natty Light everywhere. That's what you had. That was the choice.
Yeah.
And like I mean you've been to Mizzou, so you know what that's like.
Oh yeah.
It's like the whole campus is just like on a Friday night. Just it's like anywhere you go, there's Natty Light. That's what you have. That's what you choose, unless you're like, you know, going to bars and stuff. But
Right.
I never had that with whiskey.
I drank beer, but you know, I got to a point like really early on where I was like, you know, I was drinking beer because people brought it and had it, and like it was the whole like group mentality of like, yeah, we're gonna do this beer, and like, you know, I was like, I got to the point where I was like, you know, I just like drinking whiskey and vodka and like whatever. Like I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to get drunk. You know, like, you know, but there was like like that was a very early on decision for me, like in like, you know, college, even like where my friends were all like, yeah, let's chug beers. I'm like, pass. You know, and I never felt pressured. Like, you know,
You ever get iced? Have you ever been iced?
Oh my God, yes, dude. We iced somebody before we left Missouri.
Did you?
Yeah, I had them. I was
in 2020. You iced someone in 2020.
I sold them my washer and dryer when we moved. A friend of ours, and we went to their house for like one last dinner. And you know, I showed up in my car and I said, hey man, I forgot some hoses and some things you needed for the washer. They're in my trunk. Will you help me get them? And he came out. I popped the trunk and it's an ice.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
It was big ones too, dude.
Icing someone's hilarious. That'll never not be funny. That'll never not be funny.
Yeah, it was funny, dude. Yeah, 2020 throwing out an ice. It was a good time though, like, but I don't know, man. I've kind of always just done my own thing.
Right.
You know, just kind of like whether that be like drink choice or just like spending time. Like I'm totally comfortable by myself doing my own thing.
I mean, dude, you're a solo slooper. I literally I can't do that. I'm like I was just talking about. I think I'm just so extroverted. This is why I've had to like set up whenever I'm live in the morning. Like I've had to like have all these friends get on galleons with me. I don't run a galleon because it's my favorite. Brig is my favorite. I think I get sick and tired of the galleon because it's such a slug. But it's like that has the most people on it, and I'm like I need to be hanging out with people, especially in 2020, where it's like this is why I'm doing this, man. Like I was talking about the other night, like getting the chance to meet you and like other Sea of Thieves partners. It's like a big group of friends. We don't get a TwitchCon this year.
Right.
You know, would you being on Mixer? Would you still go to TwitchCons?
Oh, dude, I would go to anything. I love conventions. So like the rules that apply to me normally, like where like, you know, I'd rather be by myself and hang out and like, you know, I just kind of do my own thing, are completely abandoned when I go to conventions. And like when everyone else is into streaming and into the same things I'm in, like you could not find me more charismatic than you will find me at a convention. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna meet everybody. I'm gonna shake everyone's hand. I'm gonna talk to everybody, you know, like it's weird because it's like never, you know, even growing up, it's never how I thought I would be. Like I remember my mom growing up, she would always get like angry at me just kind of being aloof and kind of just like, you know, whatever, like go with the flow, because she's a little more high strung than I am.
Well, you're real chill.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like, you've always been like this. Yeah,
and she's an HR manager, and she would just always be like, what are you going to do when you need to get a job? Like, you know, how are you going to talk to people? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
You're like, thanks, Mom. Thanks for the
you know
boost of self-confidence.
Like, you know, it's always like somebody like in that situation, and that's just an example, but like in that situation where someone always just like tests you, like, or like, you know, hey, you know, maybe you should act this way or that way. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll act that way when I need to. And that's exactly how I am. Like,
yeah,
when I need to go to a networking event and be personable, I'm personable. When it's not necessary, then, you know, I'm just status quo, you know?
So, I mean, obviously, solo sloop is your thing. Do you have a, like when it comes to, again, I'm not going to make you say anything that's coming up. You know, like I'm just gonna revel in the fact that I know what's up and everyone's got to wait. but so like when it comes to your live content, your live side, do you see yourself always being like the late shift, like the graveyard shift, like 11 p to 5 a as like Eastern? Is that pretty much where your bread and butter for live is going to be, or do you intend on like finding maybe some new time slots as well?
I would love to find a morning time slot. Like I'd love to not have the day job and just be able to start at like midnight and go through the morning, because I feel like that would be a very advantageous schedule, right? Like you pick up everyone's late night viewers that get dumped off, and then you pick up the new people when they go to work in the morning, and I think that's a great recipe for, oh yeah, whoops.
Dude, this one always gets me. This sandbar right here always gets me.
But it's I don't know, dude. Like, there's a part of me that would love to like have a normal schedule again, and like, because anytime I take a vacation, I adapt right back. You know what I mean? Like, if I've taken a break even for like a week, like I'm back to let's go to bed at midnight and wake up at a reasonable time and like be awake during the day and like not taking naps at 3 p.m. and like
feel like a normal human from a schedule standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, right now, like anytime I can sleep, I do sleep. If I'm not busy, if I don't have something, if it's an hour, if it's 20 minutes, like I can sit down and fall asleep. It's the craziest thing. I can sit down and fall asleep in a second, dude. I can just be like, done.
Yeah, because you're only sleeping like 2 to 3 hours a night. Your body's forever tired.
It's actually kind of nice, to be fair. Like at the same time, it's weird and obviously not ideal, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to just be able to sit down and just like, yeah, we're asleep now.
Yeah, you're forever tired, man. You got like you're logging no sleep.
Yeah. So, but I like the idea of. Do we need to take a picture of this stuff?
Yeah, like where do you want to design it? Like, where do you want to set it all up? You want to set it up on the canopy? How often do you set up loot on the canopy?
Never.
Let's do that.
Let's see it.
No, let's do something on the canopy with loot. I don't know what. I whatever. We'll just set it up here.
I just know the sound it makes when it kills a man.
So you're like as far as like as far as your live stuff, you're comfortable where you are, but if you can shift towards the morning, that's chilling.
It's such a hard thing to like say, because like, yes, ideally for me, I'd love to be. Why is that cockeyed? Ideally, I'd love to be in the cruising in the morning, but and have like that normal life and be able to go out with friends at night and like have some downtime. But at the same time, like I don't know that I don't like really let myself think about that, because I don't think I'll ever get to have that. You know what I mean?
You don't think?
Like I think I've built such a late night audience
that you're gonna stick with it.
I think I'd have to have a huge audience to be able to shift a schedule like that. You know what I mean? Like I'd have to have.
Could you slow shift over like a 9-month, 12-month period? Like a slow shift, like adjust 1 hour at a time, like front and back. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, I probably could do something like that. I just but then I also have I don't know. I feel like a responsibility to people that have like watched me for the last, I don't know, 6 years or even the last couple of years.
That's a long time, man. You've been doing live content for a while.
Like I feel a responsibility in some way that I can't just like change my schedule. And you know what the reality is, man? Here's the reality of streaming is the people that love my stream and come by every day. If I stop streaming in the time period, they probably would just get over it and find someone else. And and even if I don't, even if I stick very strictly, the chance that someday their life changes and they just can't watch anymore is probably going to happen too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably not an absolute thing. You're probably dealing with just percentages. There's like a large chunk that would be like, man, I need to be like, if MUDCAT's live, I want to be there. And then you're probably also dealing with some people that are like, man, I would really love it if MUDCAT was live right now, but this is my only time to watch because that's what my schedule permits. You know, so it's kind of like you're probably just it's probably not an absolute. You're probably just dealing with different chunks of different types of people that come and hang out.
Right, and so like, but the reality is of it, like when let's say you, Alex, are like, you watch my stream every day, right, for like 6 months, and you really like my stream, but then like you get a new job and your schedule changes. Yeah. Do you worry about me? Do you consult me and like not showing up to my stream? You know what I mean?
Some for that's kind of like the unique part of Twitch is that like I would say not everybody would, but then you also will get some people that will. You know,
you will.
It's just different levels of engagement, and that's what makes live content like this so cool. Is that the engagement, we were talking about this the other night, how the engagement is the content. So some people need it more than others, especially because, dude, like 2020 is wild, man. Like like with social distancing, and then on top of that, people that are wholly quarantined, that aren't getting the opportunity to like normally plug in where like socially into their world around them. They need that sort of social outlet, you know. They're like kind of like they're really finding, you know, real awesome relationships on, you know, on Twitch or whatever. So like I get what you're saying just from a like general perspective, but man, I think you know there's all kinds of people that are on a platform like this.
Yeah, so I always can feel conflicted because for that reason though, like, you know, I know that a lot of people would just be like, you know, they would just dip on my stream, you know, because they had a life change, and that's understandable. And you know, I wouldn't be really a thought, and I wouldn't expect to be. You know, but you know, I can't always shake the feeling that like, you know, I'm gonna really like, you know, that somebody relies on the stream or something, and like I'm not gonna be there, you know, anymore, and like that's hard. So like, you know, maybe the ideal thing for me would be to switch schedules to the morning, like if I had that ability, but I just feel like I would lose the people that, you know, helped me get where I was. And so that's a hard thing to like, it's a hard like I don't know what the word is. It's a hard
like truth.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to justify, you know, like you know, in the end I'm gonna do what's best for me, to be honest, you know, right?
Of course.
If it comes down to my life, and you know, if I just decide like, hey, we're just gonna, sorry, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, that might just be something I have to do. I want to move this Athena's just to the front.
Dude, we have so much loot.
I know.
How did this when did this happen?
I don't know, when did this happen?
I'm like trying to figure that. I'm like, when did we collect all this? How many ships did we actually sink?
3.
An Ash and Wind one, I guess that initial, I don't know, man. Whatever. We got a ton of loot. I'm here for it.
I just definitely, you know, I feel that responsibility, and it's like, you know, and I go back and forth. I'm like, yeah, you know, people would get over it, and at the same time, like some people wouldn't. And like you said, it's just like, it sucks. It sucks because you always have to like consider that, you know, as a streamer. I feel like
What is something that you don't think many people know about you, but you wish everybody like in your community knew about you specifically?
That is a hard one, man. Something that I wish people knew about me in my community, or just like in general?
No, just in general. What's something that like you wish people knew about you that you feel like people don't know about you right now?
I feel like I'm a nicer person than people understand. You know?
Why do you think that has something to do with just like I don't know, like
I'm
like
sarcastic.
Like exactly, I was gonna say like your tone towards maybe people that come in, and then like your how you react to maybe some people that are trying to troll or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I'm a lot. You know, that's been a thing my whole life. You know, I've always been sarcastic. Like I'm very matter of fact. Like I don't really sugarcoat things, and that rubs people the wrong way. That's probably been like a goal for my entire life, is to be like, hey, you know, if you just talk to me for 5 minutes, you realize I'm not such an asshole. I mean, I'm an asshole, but you know, not such an asshole. You know.
Yeah.
I think people get intimidated pretty quickly, especially, you know, I have a very stoic demeanor and look.
Not overly expressive.
Yeah, I'm not overly expressive at all. Trust me.
Yes.
Yeah, this caused issues in my life.
Yeah, this is where
many years.
So MUDCAT was talking about how he normally doesn't drink coffee, but he likes ours, which is awesome, right? I mean, you can drink our mocha and our vanilla. Our mocha and our vanilla cold brews are literally built to convert non-coffee drinkers.
It's pretty chocolatey, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's literally that's how we made them. Is like we know there's a lot of people out there that do not drink coffee, but they're looking for maybe to like you know, it's interesting. It's interesting. There's a lot of people that are like envious of coffee drinkers, but can't drink it themselves because they want to drink it every day. It's like a real thing. And so our mocha and our vanilla are those. But hey, man, we're gonna fix we can fix some of that. I don't know if you think it's a problem, but like, we can get that stoicism gone. We'll get you expressing a little bit more. We'll get you on coffee literally every single morning. You can get all riled up and just scream yeah, just over and over.
Yeah, it's just you know, it's just weird. It's always the way I've been, just super chill, dude. It's for better or worse. Sometimes it works out great in my life, and sometimes it's really a drag, you know, because there's certain people in your life that expect, you know, certain emotions from you, and you're just like, I don't know how.
So,
you know?
So the thing that you wish is that, like, you know, you feel like you're nicer than some people think just because you end up being so sarcastic.
Yeah.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with sarcasm. Sarcasm's like, it's like the humor of life, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, just, you know, not everybody gets it.
Right. Yo, I think we're doing pretty good on this design, by the way.
We have so much loot, dude.
Yeah. I don't know how we got this much. If you guys are just listening, we have the whole back canopy of the sloop, like fully decorated, which is dope. With all our loot.
Much loot.
And we're not even gonna have emissary. I bet this is over 100K, non-emissary.
I'm sure we'll end this podcast and I'll be like, man, why didn't I say I wanted people to know this instead?
Let's here, you get a mulligan. What else is there?
I want people to know that U2 is the worst band on the planet.
Whoa. The U2 is the worst band on the planet?
And you know, I also want people to know that you know, they unjustly hate on Nickelback more than they should. Not to say Nickelback's an amazing band, but you know,
they're pretty good. Hate. I mean, they've gotten some top songs. To me, the Nickelback conversation falls in the same conversation as pineapple pizza for me. Like, I personally love pineapple pizza, but what I've observed is that who really cares what someone else has on their pizza? They just do that because it's like a social, like, it's like one of those conversations that they might feel uncomfortable and don't know what to talk about, so they bring that up, and it's kind of like it helps lubricate a conversation, you know. And it's like they don't have real opinions on it, but they pretend that they do.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the Nickelback one.
For me, I'm a picky eater, so if it's not meat, it doesn't belong on pizza. But you know, I have no problem with people eating pineapple on their pizza. They can wallow in their misery.
Because who cares? That's because who cares what anyone else is eating?
Right, exactly. As long as I don't have to taste it.
The only thing that does matter is that you think Jumanji's a movie about time travel. That's the only thing that does matter. Which, please tell me that you think Jumanji's a movie about time travel.
I definitely think there's merit for that argument. You know, I definitely think that.
I bring it up every time. I bring it up every time because I watched Jumanji for the first time a few weeks ago. People lost their lid when I said it.
I mean, it's just like RoboCop's a movie about an absentee father.
I've never seen RoboCop.
You know? You never seen RoboCop?
I've never seen RoboCop. I haven't seen a lot of movies. I haven't seen a lot of movies, man. That's why I watched it. Do we have all the loot on board?
We got one more chalice down here.
Yo, I like this design.
Yeah, I've been working on it. I don't ever do this.
Wait, hold on.
I feel like I'm channeling my Kata right now.
Someone just said that MUDCAT says cheese doesn't belong on pizza.
No, cheese belongs on pizza. Obviously, cheese belongs on pizza, guys. But in terms of toppings, cheese is not a topping. It's an inevitable.
Some people don't do cheese on pizza, man.
I know my brother's allergic to milk. I'm a sucker.
All right, let's stand. Let's get this photo, dude. Thank you so much for hanging today, man. We got a lot of loot to turn in, you know. So we have. I feel like I just
rambled for the last 3 hours,
which is good. It's only been 2.5.
Oh boy.
We have a lot of loot to turn in still, but let's get this picture, dude. Thank you for coming out and doing this. This is it flies by 2.5 hours. I feel like we just set sail, man. So thank you for coming and chatting. We don't get a lot of opportunities to sail together because of the time.
Yeah, no.
You know, we have
next time I'm off work, I'll have to plan for it.
Morning party boats, man. You got a forever invite to the morning party boats. I tell this to everybody, just hop in. Literally, our voice channels are open. You know, you got permission. Just come on in. Just come hang out. We're just, jamming out in the morning, listening to music and sinking ships. I only ever do PvP, so.
Perfect.
That's it. All right, let me get this picture. How's this look? Toggle the HUD. Dude, you know what's really cool is like all the photography competitions they do in this game.
Oh, dude, yeah, I love the screenshots in this game. Looks so nice, man.
Boom, and take a screenshot. Got it.
Nailed it.
Got it, man.
Sell it.
All right, let's get it all in.
Let's do it.
Let's get it all in, man. Guys, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out today. Thank you guys for coming and chilling. If you guys had any questions for MUDCAT, now's the time. Just throw them out. If I see one that looks non-trolly and looks like a legit question,
I'm
gonna throw it out. So, okay, what else besides Sea of Thieves have you been running?
I've been playing some, well, drops have been it's been all Sea of Thieves, but, before that, a little bit of Rogue Company. I play D&D twice a week over on a different Twitch channel on Wednesday and Friday nights, so that's always in the rotation. So there's, Rogue Company's been one that like really came out of nowhere. I've been trying a little bit of Spellbreak. Not sure it's for me. Been trying to dabble in COD a little bit, but I'm looking more forward to Cold War than I am the current Modern Warfare.
Here's a question. Here's a question. MUDCAT, do you go mudding?
Do I go mudding? I have been mudding. Yeah, I have been mudding. I don't really go very often.
Are you into cars?
I am not really. Nah.
Do you have like a all-wheel drive, like a you can go, you have a truck or something?
No, we have a Jeep Cherokee, and I got a Camaro.
You could take Jeeps out.
Yeah, you can. You can. We've taken it off into some fields and stuff, but it's not really like an off-roading machine. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
I knew some guys growing up in a smaller town that had lifted trucks, and like, they had mufflers that were designed to go underwater and stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, here's another one. When are we playing Halo? When are
we playing Halo?
Yeah, when are we playing Halo with him is the question.
Let's do it. I'm totally down for it.
If you had to pick one Halo right now to play, if I said, hey, even if I said we're gonna cut the stream, it's just you and I, we're just gonna do offline gaming, which Halo would you pick?
Halo 5, hands down.
That would be your hands down pick?
Hands down, it's the best multiplayer of any Halo series.
No.
Yep. It is the
Listen,
the most,
I give it good
Halo
props
on the planet.
No, I give it good props because it's a really good game, but it's not. Dude, you can't go past Halo 3. If you're gonna talk about best multiplayer mode, it's 1, 2, or 3, and that's the universe of conversation. That's the universe.
Dude. Hey, listen, I mean, 3 is great, but I've spent some time recently back on 3, and it just doesn't hold up, man. It's too slow. Like,
oh, I'm with you. 3 is the worst of the first 3. Like, it goes Halo 2, 1, and 3, and even 2 and 1 is a debate because I think Halo 1 has the highest skill ceiling of any FPS game I've ever played, but or controller, like console specific FPS game.
Right.
But Halo 2 is where all the importance in teamwork and comms and organization comes from, which I love more than I love individual play. So that's why I give my nod towards Halo 2. But
yeah, don't get me wrong. I think there's a special place in my heart for Halo 2 and BXRing people to death. But Halo 5 for me, just really like, I just love the multiplayer, dude. If it wasn't, people dog on it for not being like really a quote unquote Halo game, but if you took the title off of it, it's one of the best first-person arena shooters made in the last decade.
You see, people dog on Halo 5 because the community had already dissipated, and Halo, it was the thing to dog on what Halo had been doing by the time 5 came out, and then it didn't look like Halo, so people just kind of still dogged on it. If the game experience that you get from 5 would have been what we would have gotten in Halo Reach, that would have been it would have been like, I don't think the community would have ever dissipated. I think it would have just kept going strong. Like, because 5's a great game. If it would have evolved right after 3, in that direction versus what they did with Reach, like what they did with Reach completely broke the community. It broke everything about what we knew about Halo, and it was in a really, really unfun, uncompetitive way. But like 5 departed, but in a really competitive way. I feel like 5's like, it's a super like competitive game in a lot of different ways, which is why I like 5. But man, dude, if you could have gone to a tournament, a Halo 1, 2, or 3 tournament, like they were something else back then, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the day and age, like my interests in games just have shifted to more it be in line with like what Halo 5 provides, in an arena shooter.
We'll do how about this? When Halo Infinite comes out, we need to make sure that we make time to run some really like sweaty hardcore, like nights of comp play, whatever that means, whatever that looks like. If it's customs, if there's a playlist that does it justice, whatever.
Are you even gonna get sweaty matches if you're not running customs? If you're not running 8s?
Yeah, I mean, like that's the only way I played was customs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But I don't know how they're gonna have it set up. Who knows, man? Who knows? I for the life of me, before a Halo Halo gets fixed, I want a last ship standing in Sea of Thieves so bad. Like,
if I could just split my time between Halo and a battle royale and Sea of Thieves, then that would be it. That'd be it.
dude,
That's all we need.
yeah, like I'm just gonna take every single opportunity I get to talk about how this game needs a BR in hopes that someone, in hopes that Joe Need is listening, and Joe Need can just hear how it is the most important thing. It should be the #1 item on their agenda when they get into the office on Monday. They should look at it and say, okay, do you guys hear Party Boats Thieves episode 5? MUDCAT and Alex, they want the BR. Let's go.
Maybe I've watched this podcast now that I've been on it. Like, it's mostly you asking questions about the people and letting them just like ramble about their lives. But when's the episode when people ask you questions?
Oh, people don't need to hear about me. I just listen. I sell coffee and I sink ships. That's it. That's it. That's what we do.
That's it.
That's
Case
my
closed.
life. That's my life.
Quit
Man.
asking.
Listen, I need to hear that. Like I said, this is a really cool time for me to be able to like meet a bunch of the different Sea of Thieves partners because of that. There's that thing that always happens, and it happens like IRL with your IRL friends, maybe someone that you hadn't seen in a while and your schedules are different. You always say, hey, let's sail together, let's hang out, and it's hard to make it actually happen. So this is like my best attempt at getting to play with you and hang with you and like anyone else, man, anyone else that is not normally live when I'm live. So it's cool, man. It's cool to get to know you better, and because we share there's a lot of times where like we're in the same conversations in the Sea of Thieves partner Discord, or we've been, or like we have been on a boat before, and like there's different events that happen. So this is my, I'm very selfishly asking the questions because I want to hear about everyone's life.
Yeah. Hey, guess what I found?
What'd you find? Yo, you found it, man. Yeah. Yo, an Ashen Wind yoink and an Athena yoink. This is what's up.
It was just in one of those chests. I don't know how we missed it earlier. I guess it looked like a regular skull.
Yeah. Did they use it at all? Yeah, we're at 4,500. They used it.
I used it a little bit.
You did, yeah. And does that? What's the normal value? Like 7,500?
I have no idea. I think it's like 5,000, isn't it? It's only like
Is it
5K?
5? I have no idea. I don't know. I'm at, and I know you let a lot of loot sink, is what you said.
Yeah, dude. I'll dump it in the ocean all the time.
I mean, I guess it's just because we have too many
toxic.
people to let it sink. But I mean, I'm at a point where I don't care about the gold. It's just like I love the competitive side. Like I want to feel like I can sink anybody at any given moment, however we want.
It's always an interesting conversation to me when people come in. Like, it's like one of the things when you're streaming Sea of Thieves, everyone's like, how much gold do you have? Like, what are you, blah, blah, blah. What are your ranks? And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't really care, like, it's not how I play the game. I just want to like sink these people. And, sometimes I'll grab the loot because I do want to get my reps up. Like, so I'll try to force myself to grab loot. But, before with the 75 shift to like when we were all just level 50s and level 10 Athenas, like, I would just sink someone and just leave.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the people that have, and I just noticed this difference because Sea of Thieves is, because there's so many different ways you can play this game. This game has attracted so many players from so many different communities. Like, you'll have people that have only played MMOs before want to play Sea of Thieves because of the progression, but then you'll also have people that only play sweaty hardcore, like the guys the other night who said they play Valorant, so they play Counter-Strike. Like, that's the games they play. They play Sea of Thieves as more of like a break from going hard in those games. So it's like you attract so many different types of people. What I found is that the people that do have those more hardcore FPS backgrounds, like you and me, who have a Halo background, we're the ones who don't really get burnt out because we're just in it to get better at the actual mechanics of the game itself. You know what I mean? Versus like in it for a level or in it for accommodation or in it for a skin. I feel like my drive, and I get it from the sense from you, is in the how this time when I'm playing can I get better at managing the ship, or better at hand-to-hand combat, or better at strategizing, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's
the best feeling for me in this game is when my sloop has 10 to 12 holes popped in it, the mast is down, it's on fire, and a galleon is actively just pounding, like, because then it becomes a challenge.
Yep. It's like, can you get out of this? Yep.
Can I even get the boat moving again? And a lot of times it's yes, because I just prioritize things and like time management, which is like a really fun skill to do in a game for me. Or when you're like 3 or 4v1 in your spawn camp, and like people want you to scuttle, and I'll just keep respawning and just practice. You know what I mean?
Right.
At that point, it just becomes, let's see if I can break this spawn camp.
Yeah. It's
let's see if it's possible. Oh, we got this Reaper's flag too. We didn't put that in the picture.
Oh no. I'm good.
Grade 1.
I'm good with just leaving this stuff here if you are.
I'm gonna take it. I need that flag.
All right,
I
do
need
you?
Accommodation. Yeah.
Man, you got
I
two
do.
Reaper's chests and a flag. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Dope. I'm gonna wrap it there though, man.
No worries, dude.
Dude, thank you so much for coming out and hanging. Again, everybody, however you're listening, wherever you guys are, if this is YouTube, if you just listen to this live, or if you're listening to it on SoundCloud or Spotify or what have you, guys, thank you so much for being here and hanging with us. This was Party Boats and Thieves, episode 5 with MUDCAT. Y'all, MUDCAT and I have been like I was just talking about, like in the same sort of like social space for a while. We've sailed before together, but it's just schedules are different. So getting a chance to hang out, MUDCAT, today was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it was dope, dude. I enjoyed it.
Of course, man. Thank you for sharing your story. We get to hear a little bit more about what got you here. Guys, Party Boats and Thieves, presented by Madrinas Coffee, is a podcast experience brought to you and fueled by all of our delicious cold brews. We bring you the absolute best tasting cold brew that you will ever find all across the world. Guys, you can now use discount code MUDCAT at checkout at madrinascoffee.com. Make sure you put your Twitch name in so that way the alert pops up on MUDCAT's stream, and it has a chance to, like I said, probably scare him because the crack will be nice and loud. It cracks the can, it spins it out. Guys, thank you for listening. Next Friday, we'll be back with episode 6. And then MUDCAT, if you want to do a little shout out, where can everybody find you on all platforms?
Yeah, you can find me here on Twitch. It's just MUDCAT, twitch.tv/MUDCAT. You can find me most social medias, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram are all MUDCAT TV, Facebook as well. And then you can also find I have a podcast. When I do it, you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. It's called Stream Rants. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, YouTube is also MUDCAT TV, I think.
You got a TikTok? You lean heavy into that?
No, I don't. I'm just trying to get into it.
Yeah, it's
actually
new.
YouTube is youtube.com/MUDCAT. I lied.
I've been trying to figure
I hate
out
having the same at everywhere.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out the my ad's different on, like, it's AL3X on Twitch, but it's different on the other ones. I've been trying to figure out TikTok, and I just haven't even known. I've kind of taken a little break because of the like the impending ban or whatever. I don't even know what the future holds for it. But guys, if you heard all of that, please go follow MUDCAT on everything and check out his all of his content. Sea of Thieves or not, go check it out. Like I said, solo slooper. If you guys are up late in the US and you're looking for someone to hang out with in the night shift, make sure you stop by and hang out with MUDCAT when he's live. Guys, we'll see you all next week. Cheers to you, MUDCAT. Thank you for coming again, and everybody that
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for being here, and everybody that listened. Y'all are amazing. Have a great rest of your night and enjoy your weekend. Big, huge, biggity massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you, man.
Later, dude.